What's up, sluts? It is 30th of Nissan 5786, Friday, April 17th. No one really knows for sure Eluvei Elu Divrei Elokim Chaim, but this is the Mazar we live by. 3761, creation of the world, birth of Adam and Eve. Chava, 3631, 130, Seth, son of Adam, was born. 3526, 235, Enosh, son of Seth, was born. 34 at 36, 325, Kenan, son of Enosh, was born. Brigadier Nightly name of Lamashaka the Shadow of Mustafa Tzibanu. Worship of Mahdi Bad. Brigadier Nightly of Lamashaka the Shadow of Mustafa Tzibanu, Officer for Omer. Blessed be your Shema God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. Today is 16 days, which is 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. May the merciful one restore unto us the service of the Beit HaMikdash to its place speedily in our days. Amen. Salah. Salah.
I'm Dr. Justin Sledge, and welcome to Esoterica, where we explore the arcane in history, philosophy, and religion. One of the most difficult aspects in starting to study Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah is getting a handle on just how those ideas developed over time. It's tempting to think that, for instance, Kabbalah has just always existed in the form that we have it, or that Kabbalah is just one thing at all. Of course, neither of these positions is really tenable. Such notions developed greatly through the ages and are still developing. And there are now, and there have always been, numerous mutually exclusive schools of Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. This class is meant to serve as an introduction to Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah from the point of view of its incredibly complex development from the prophets of ancient Israel and to the rise of modern Hasidism in the 18th century. Of course, this series isn't meant to be exhaustive by any means, but only should serve as a springboard for deeper study and reflection, and hopefully it will also enable you to situate developments in Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah in their historical and cultural context, and hopefully embolden you to dive into the primary texts, which are admittedly as sublime as they are obscure. Let me express my gratitude to Congregation Tchia for allowing me to use these lectures to reach a larger audience here on Esoterica. If you want, you can find the entire series under the playlist Entering the Garden, an Introduction to Jewish Mysticism and Kabbalah. I'll be uploading them over the next few weeks, or if you find these episodes after autumn of 2021 and you want to watch the entire series, you can find them in that playlist. If you find this series on Kabbalah interesting, I'd hope you check out my other content on topics in esotericism and perhaps consider supporting the production of free academic and scholarly topics in occultism, hermetic philosophy by joining my Patreon or perhaps with a one-time donation. You can find those links below, and I really appreciate your consideration. Now, let's enter the garden of Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. So, let's do a little recap. I hope you had the chance to take a look at the episode on Merkava, or Hechelot mysticism. And so, in order to recap a bit, what I want to do is take a look at those mysticisms just briefly, because in some ways they're going to link us to the topic we're going to be dealing with this evening, and that is the topic of Jewish magic. As you may remember, the apocalyptic mode of Judaism produced a novel religious way of being. But the proto-rabbinic circles, the early rabbis, did not like apocalyptic Judaism for lots of reasons, one of which is that it seemed to encourage a kind of bellicose, warlike behavior, and it seemed to commit people to a kind of determinism. And determinism, as you might imagine, doesn't really inspire people to be better. It just says, accept your fate and go on with it. It's all part of the divine plan. Well, the early rabbis really didn't like that idea. They really thought, no, we can choose to live differently than we're living. We can choose a different world. And that emphasis on choice and moral responsibility on the part of the rabbis really tilted rabbinical Judaism away from, although not completely away from, many of the central tenets of apocalyptic Judaism. Now, what does emerge in the world of apocalyptic Judaism is a new kind of mysticism that, ironically enough, does actually prove to be popular, at least with some rabbis. Now, I don't want to paint a wide brush or paint with a broad brush and say, yes, all of Merkabah and Shiur Koma mysticisms are popular among the rabbinical elite. That's definitely not true. If you know anything about rabbis, one of the things that rabbis do as a hobby is disagree with one another. So there's just no evidence to say that the rabbis were terribly interested in all practicing these forms of mysticism. And just to parse those out a bit, as to maybe jog your memory, the Hekhalot or Merkabah literature or mysticism is a form of mysticism in which the mystic descends into the divine palaces, and they have to bypass all kinds of angelic guardians, and they have to give them passcodes, and they have to give them secret handshakes and decoder rings, and not really decoder rings, but all this kind of weird stuff. And by doing that, they eventually descend through the various palaces of God and ultimately arrive with what we would now call a beatific vision, which is to say they are allowed to gaze upon the throne of God. In some of this literature, they're allowed to sit upon the throne of God, which I always imagine, like, when you were a little kid and you would sit in the big kid chair, and you would sit in like the big people table chair, and you would be like real small sitting in a giant recliner. I kind of always imagine that's what it's like to sit in the throne of God. It's like a really worn out, like gritty recliner that's super comfortable that your like granddad sat in for 50 years. That's what I imagine to be the throne of God. So you can sit in the throne of God, and sometimes you can be transformed into an angel. Why you want to do that, I don't know, but you could, right? And Enoch, of course, is a quintessential version of someone who, according to one of the books of Enoch, is transformed into an angel. Alternatively, you could do the nerd option, and the nerd option is math. And the nerd option includes gazing upon the divine body and measuring it, right? And you measure it in this parasong version, unit of 3.5 miles, and you're allowed to learn the secret names of all the different parts of God's body. Left eyebrow, right eyebrow, left ear, right ear, and all these things. And you're allowed to measure the parts of the divine body. And these numbers may have been something like a meditative technique, although we really don't know. It's a very bizarre form of literature, a very strange form of mysticism. Although I will say, as I pointed out last time, that Maimonides actually might be arguing against the Merkabah Shiur Koma literature in the Guide Complex. That might be the target, at least of some of his analysis in the Guide Complex. Which, by the way, just to drive that point home, if that's the case, and I think Menachem Kellner makes a really great case that it is, that means the greatest work in all of the history of Jewish philosophy is a response to a form of Jewish mysticism. Right? It's downstream of mysticism. It's a reaction to Jewish mysticism. And I think that can't be underestimated and underplayed. I think that's incredibly important if it's true. And I happen to believe that it's true, at least to some degree. The other form of literature that we talked about, or mysticism, is what is called the Sar Torah mysticism, the Prince of the Torah. And this is a para-rabbinic. We think these guys may have been in rabbinic circles, maybe on the outside of rabbinic circles, not quite the inner core, but maybe kind of the hipsters outside smoking cigarettes in the dive bar where the rabbis hung out. These guys wanted to summon a kind of angel called the Sar Torah, the Prince of the Torah, and this angel would teach them rabbinic lore, laws, and secrets very rapidly. I don't know, this is like the person that comes to you the day of the exam, who's a C student and asks if they can see your notes, and they try to download all your notes the day before the exam, right? It's like, they're that guy. And so what do? They have to go before the rabbinical elites, and they have to figure all this stuff out. They're like, oh, might as well summon an angel. And one can hope that the angel will help them with their rabbi test, or their calculus test, or their German test, or whatever test they have to take. I will say, however, that if I could just learn the liberal arts by summoning an angel, I would have done that. And so clearly I didn't. Just as a last thing to remind folks, dozens of these manuscripts survive. Dozens. Right? And history is a bad place. History is a dangerous place. It's a vicious place. Very little survived, right? When we write a book down on papyrus in Egypt, the odds of it surviving anywhere outside of Egypt are pretty low. And so we have dozens of examples of these texts surviving, being transmitted into Europe, surviving in the Middle Ages, in the world of the Hashdi Ashkenaz, for instance, the world of the German pietists, a little bit we'll get to later. These manuscripts survived, which means at some level they were popular, they were copied, they were probably practiced. So we see them being used over and over again. We see elements of the Hekala literature appearing, for instance, in the Talmud. We also see elements of the Hekala literature appearing in the New Testament, which I don't have to remind you, is a Jewish text written by Jewish people, right? So the New Testament also contains some mentions of Hekala literature, which is just to say that all of this is a witness to the popularity of these forms of mysticism and what might be called quasi-magic. And I say quasi-magic because the Sar Torah literature is a kind of quasi-magic, right? It is a kind of quasi-magic. And when I say quasi-magic, you are in fact summoning a being, right? You're in fact summoning a being to magically teach you stuff rapidly, right? You can't learn things rapidly normally. You have to download them somehow, right? Almost like putting a jack in your head and like downloading the information. The Sar Torah somehow has the ability to do that for you. So this is a bit of a recap that gets us up to speed and links for us, at least at some level, the distinction between Merkabah mysticism, where you descend into the chariot, to the Sar Torah literature, in which you're bringing down an angel. And that bridges the gap for us at some level between mysticism and magic. And those two things are where we're going to move tonight. We're going to move in the direction of Jewish magic. So just 1 second, I'm getting a bunch of emails, which tells me that there might be something amiss. So let me see, just check those real fast and before we jump right in. I want to make sure that I'm not missing something in the wrong room or whatever. So 1 second, folks. Sorry again. No, okay, we're good, great. I just want to hear like 5 emails go off all of a sudden randomly. It's better just to check and make sure I'm not in the wrong room or some other kind of mistake. Alright, folks, let's turn to Jewish magic. Now, as you might imagine, magic and Jewish magic more specifically present a lot of complex problems, right? They present a lot of complex problems. The first problem is that the term magic and the concept of magic is basically impossible to pin down. Scholars have been trying to pin down what exactly one means by magic for a couple of hundred years, maybe more than that. Really more than that. Because the problem with magic is, where does magic end and where does religion begin? Right? It seems like magic is causing things by supernatural beings. Well, what about prayer? Right? That seems like a kind of supernatural causation, right? So magic is always a term that's very difficult to pin down exactly what we mean by it. And just to give you some evidence of that, this is a recent volume called Defining Magic. Here, right? Defining Magic. It's about 260 pages, pretty dense academic literature of about 30 or 40 different scholars trying to do just that. And guess what? They don't. They all agree that you can. So scholars even today are throwing ink trying to figure out what exactly magic is, and it's a difficult task. Now, what I'm going to say, right, is for the purposes of this lecture at least, I'm just going to mean magic to mean any illicit supernatural practice, right? Any illicit supernatural practice. Now, why do I say illicit? Because magic in history has almost always been used as a way of othering someone else's practices. So, for instance, when the Greeks decided that they did religion, they othered the Persians. And they said, the Magi, they do weird Persian religion, right? We do theurgy. We do real religion. But those Persians, they do magic, right? They are magic users. So, right, ditto, right, with the witches, right? When the Catholic Church did miracles, the Catholic Church said, yeah, we do miracles. Well, what do witches do? Oh, they do magic. They do witchcraft. So you can see here, right, that the lines we draw about what's magic and what's not, what's a miracle and what's not, what's sorcery and what's legitimate religion, the line has less to do with what you're doing. It has more to do with who's in control and who gets to decide what's allowed and what's not. So magic, in this case, is almost always an othering term. It's almost always used to describe what the other does. The bad people, the women, the Persians, the Jews, whatever. So it's an othering term. So when I use it here, right, one, I'm using it in a very circumspect way. Two, I want to acknowledge that for many people now in the 20th and 21st century, magic is an important part of their spiritual life. Modern day Wicca, modern day people who identify as witches, modern day Druids, modern day Jewish people who practice magic as part of their spirituality is a fundamentally different kind of thing than what I'm talking about tonight. So I just want to say that what I'm doing here is putting magic in a very specific circumspect way in order to elucidate how it's operated within Judaism over the course of several millennia. I am not offering a end-all, be-all definition of magic, because you can't. You can't. It's much more problematic than that. Secondly, Jewish magic is a mess because it seems like a contradiction in terms. Why? Well, if the authorities determine what's in and what's out, what's listed and what's illicit, well, the problem is, what does the Torah say about these practices? Well, the Torah is really weird about this. Now, I know that you probably have in your mind the idea of magic. And the answer to that is, kinda it does. It depends on what you mean by magic. So the most extensive condemnation that we see in the Torah of what we would now consider something like magic is actually probably in Deuteronomy 18. Now there are lots of other places in the Hebrew Bible where magic or something like magic is condemned. There are practices or really people that do certain kinds of things that are condemned. But you'll see here, right? And I've left the technical terms in the Hebrew transliterated here. So it reads in Deuteronomy 18, there won't be found among you one who passes his son and daughter through the fire, an indigenous Canaanite practice, a kosim of kosamim, a me'onin, a menachesh, a mechashef, and a chover of chever, and one who asks of an ov or a gideoni, and the one who seeks the dead, dorish meitim, right? Now, what you see here, right, is I've maintained all those Hebrew words in their transliterated form. Why? Because we don't know what any of them are, really. We don't know what any of them are. All right? A me'onin might have to do with someone who divines things, tells the future through clouds, right? The Hebrew word anan does mean clouds. So maybe it's one who clouds stuff, right? But what they do, we have no idea. A mechashef, right? This might come from the word, for snake, right? A nachash, right? This might come from someone who divines things from snakes, but again, we don't know. A Baal and a Yedaoni, again, we don't know. And not only do we not know, the rabbis of the earliest period of the Talmud didn't know either. And how do we know that? They debated about what these words meant. You don't debate about what words mean if everyone already knows what they mean. You debate about them when you don't know what they are. And so what we see, for instance, in Tractate Sanhedrin and the Babylonian Talmud is a very elaborate debate about what's allowed and what's not. What's supernatural causation that's allowed and what's supernatural supernatural causation, which is asur, which is forbidden. Now, of course, the most famous condemnation in the Hebrew Bible is found in the book of Exodus, and that line, and I have to say, this line, Mechashefa lo techayeh, that line cost the lives, I would say, of thousands, tens of thousands of people in the Middle Ages and the early modern period, specifically women. This famous line reads, Mechashefa lo techayeh, female magic doing person, don't let them live. Right, that's literally, and of course you probably know it more famously in the King James Bible translation, suffer not a witch to live, right? That line led thousands, tens of thousands of women to their death in the early modern period during the witch hunts. We think that number is somewhere between 40 and 60,000 people, mostly women, were executed during the witch hunts. And that line justified, they leaned heavily on that line, right? Because it's so brief and so terribly profound. Now, of course, we have this line, Machashefa lo techayeh. By the way, you'll notice for folks who understand some Hebrew, it's in the feminine form, right? It's specifically targeting women. We do see other texts like Machashef, right? The masculine form over there in the book of Deuteronomy, right? Deuteronomy, you can see it there. So it does condemn both female and male magic users, but the line in Exodus specifically targets women. So at any rate, what do we do with this Machashefa lo techayeh, right? That you can't let witches or female sorcerers or whatever live. Well, translate natural causation. The two most divination, you're perfectly allowed to use divination in the Hebrew Bible. You just have to use a specific form of divination. So the high priest has a device called the Urim the Urim and the Thummim, right? This is some kind of divination device. Although exactly how it worked, we don't have a lot of speculation about this in the Talmud. I say it worked, who knows what it really was. And of course, the other more infamous ritual is the Sotah ritual, in which a woman suspected of adultery, notice there's no male version of the Sotah ritual, there's no men suspected of adultery of doing this, in which a woman is forced to consume a broth made of sand and ash and things, and drink this, and assuming that she's committed adultery, would cause her stomach to become upset, and she would be executed. So the Sotah ritual, right, is also a form of supernatural causation to sort out whether or not a woman has committed adultery. These are both examples of supernatural causation that are allowed in the Hebrew Bible. In fact, there's an entire tractate of the Babylonian Talmud dedicated to the Sotah ritual. So it's clear that these forms of supernatural causation are. But what do these words mean? We don't know. We do, however, get some clues, right? One of the great boons of 20th century archaeology was that we figured out how Akkadian is the language of the ancient Babylonians. It's a distant cousin of Hebrew. And guess what we find there? We find cognates. And cognates are the jam of any linguist, right? Because if you can find a cognate in German and Old Gothic, right? And if you don't know what the Gothic means, you might be able to figure out from the Middle High German what the Old Gothic word might mean. And it's just fantastic. This is a great thing. So, ditto, right? We find a Akkadian word, for instance, kish, which does mean evil magic doer. And look at that, right? We find, right, with the word Machashefa, right? You can see, if you know some Hebrew, right? You can see the exact same root word, right? The ka, the sha, right? And the pu sound, of course, is unique to Akkadian. We can see there in Akkadian that we have a very clear word for sorcerer, magic doer. This is important, by the way, because if you read the Septuagint, of course, is the Greek translation of the Bible, Hebrew Bible, into Greek. The Septuagint actually translates the word Machashefa, pharmakeia, right? It translates it as poisoner. So they kind of up-translate it to make it a bit more rational, but it's very clear from the original Hebrew that the word does, in fact, indicate a specifically female magic doer person. That's a really, really bad translation, but you get the truth from the Akkadian word kishbu. Now, does the Torah condemn all magic? As we've seen, kind of not. It depends on what you mean by magic. You may remember this is image here from one of our first lectures here on Jewish mysticism. This is the Ketef Hinnom amulet that was found in a grave in Jerusalem. Well, why might you put the priestly benediction in a grave. Well, you might put it in a grave for magical purposes, to protect the dead from things like evil spirits. Why? Because we see that kind of practice occurring all over the ancient Near East. Again, the Israelites are an ancient Near Eastern people, and they mimic, they incorporate practices from the wider Near East. And so when you see an amulet written on silver with blessings on it, the natural leap is that this document amulet to protect the dead, perhaps from evil spirits. Well, if that's true, I think there's good reason to believe that it is. That makes the earliest section of the Hebrew Bible ever recovered an amulet, and therefore a magical object. Now, just let that settle in for a moment. That would mean that the earliest example of the Hebrew Bible that's ever been recovered is a magical device. I think that's profound when thinking about the history of magic. That means magic dates, at least in terms of material culture, everything else we know about the Hebrew Bible. And I find that to be profoundly interesting. Right? Profoundly interesting. Now, does that mean that the people that put those amulets in those tombs were allowed to do that? Does that mean that they were operating within the normal limits of what was acceptable at the time? No. We have no idea. What we do have is the material history, and we have to deal with it as such, right? It's not for me to judge yay or nay. All I can say is, someone wrote a blessing that eventually became part of the Hebrew Bible on a silver amulet and put it in the tomb. And anywhere else we would see something like that, we would jump to the idea they were doing magic. Why not just let that evidence speak for itself at some level? So, it's clear, right, that what the Hebrew Bible is worried about, what the Israelites are worried about when they condemn magic, is less practices. They're worried about differentiating themselves from their neighbors, right? These people do this, we don't do that, right? These people do this, we don't do that either, right? These people do these practices, and we don't want those kinds of people in our community. So notice that the condemnations here in Deuteronomy, they're about being people. Don't be a Kesamim. Don't be a Ma'onim. Don't be a Menachesh, right? Don't be a Chover Chever. Don't be a person that does that. It's not a condemnation of the practice per se. It's a condemnation of those kinds of people being in your community. And as we'll see in just a minute, right, many Israelites, at least one Israelite, a very famous one, had to consult with one of those people. So again, the condemnations we see here are not condemnations of practice typically, they're condemnations of people doing those practices. Why? Probably identity formation. We're not those people. We're not those kind of people. But also, it's theologically threatening. You're moving in the direction of monotheism. Right? Monotheism is in your wheelhouse. And you're moving in the idea that there's a singular God who does everything in the world. Well, what does it mean if there's like Menachem down the road or Chava down the road, and they can like monkey around with the reality and like bring people back to life, or curse crops, or make people fall in love with each other? It seems like they have access to supernatural powers over and against the supernatural powers of your God, and that's worrying. That's a theological worry, because if your God is the only God and the only one really in control, and what are they tapping into? How do they have access to these weird powers where they can make someone fall in love with someone else, or make someone get a sickness, or cure a disease, or bring someone back from the dead? That's all very anxiety producing. If monotheism, strict kind of monotheism, is ultimately where you're going, where God and God alone has those kinds of powers. And of course, you'll see that same anxiety play itself out later in, for instance, Christianity. But Christianity has an easy answer to that. Their answer is they're working with the damn devil, right? And if they're working with the devil, that's how they do this stuff. The Israelites, at least the Israelites once they've adopted monotheism, don't have that answer, right? And so this is a much more complicated problem for them, at least at this point, prior to the apocalyptic, then later on falling into all kinds of bad stuff, as you can see early on in the book of Enoch. The clearest account of magical practice among the Israelites is to be found, of course, in the Hebrew Bible, because where else would it be found? And that account, of course, is to be found in the story of the Ba'alat Ov, you'll notice here, right, that we have that prohibition on consulting an Ov or being an Ov back in Deuteronomy. But here we have a person with a title, Ba'alat Ov. We don't know her name, but we do know her title. She is a mistress of the Ov. Now, Ba'alat is relatively clear. It just means Baal, means master, so it's one who has control of something. The word husband in Hebrew, Baal, right? It's the one that's in control. Whatever. Misogyny aside, the Ba'alat Ov here is a mistress. She is a she, at least gender-wise, grammatically speaking. And she's a mistress of the Ov. Now, we don't know what the Ov is. It seems possible this word is related to Av and maybe roughly related to the idea of ancestors, specifically dead ancestors. And therefore, we might translate this word as something like the person who has access to the ancestors who are dead. Right? Now, that's a really clunky translation. The typical translation we use for that now is something like necromancer. Right? Necromancy is manipulation of the dead for various kinds of powers, more specifically predicting the future. That's exactly what we have here with the Ba'alat Ov. But we don't know what this word Ov means. I think it's probably related to the word dead ancestors issue. These are special people that have access to those dead ancestors. So, you may know this story, right? Saul is in a war with the Philistines. King Saul, first king of Israel, is in a war with the Philistines, and it's going badly. Well, not only going badly, God has abandoned Saul. Saul goes to the legitimate forms of divination, the Urim and the Thummim, consults them, and well, God doesn't go, right? It's like when you, I don't know, you're in a big problem, and you call someone and they don't pick up. Well, Saul freaks out. So what does he do? He goes to an Ov. Right, he goes to one of these people, the Ov, and he consults with this woman. It's a woman character here, and she does successfully summon the ghost, the spirit of the recently deceased prophet Samuel, and she describes Samuel as emerging from Elohim. Right, she's terrified of that, and she says, "I see an Elohim coming up from the earth." Now, we do see in other texts, for instance, in the King text and the Ugaritic text, where the dead are sometimes referred to as Elohim, as gods. In fact, there's a specific word for dead ancestor spirits in Hebrew, the Rephaim, who also seem to be sort of alive in the afterlife in some kind of weird way. Exactly what the Rephaim are is mysterious. In fact, a new monograph just got published on the Israelite conception of the Rephaim, and I am really interested to read it because this is a very mysterious problem. Sometimes the Philistines are referred to Rephaim as giants. It's a really mysterious term in Hebrew. At any rate, the Ba'alat Ov at Endor does successfully summon the ghost of Samuel, the Ruach of Samuel, and of course, like all prophets, as you probably know, they have bad news, because prophets always have bad news. Never go to a prophet to get good news. You don't got any. If you go to the prophet bank and go to the good news section, it's empty. It's all full of bad news. And the bad news is, yes, God has abandoned Saul, and he's going to die tomorrow. And guess what happens? God abandons Saul, and he dies the next day. In fact, he committed suicide, dreadfully, on the battlefield. So the Ba'alat Ov is a clear example of an Israelite narrative where magic works. Right? There's no question. The text never says, and the Ba'alat Ov was full of it, and she was a liar. In fact, it paints her very, very nicely. She's always depicted as preparing food for them, being very conscientious. She even says that when Saul comes to consult with her, that he's outlawed this practice, that she doesn't want to do it. He has to force her to do it at some level, and she obliges him. So the Ba'alat Ov is nothing like those evil witch of Hansel and Gretel tales, right? Inherently malevolent and preying upon people. Saul goes to her. She refuses. He insists. She summons the ghost. And then afterwards, when he's terrified of his impending fate, she tries to comfort him with food and drink out of her own commissary, right? She's a relatively poor person we can imagine. This term is described as the witch at Endor. I really don't like the translation witch at Endor, because the term witch is so loaded in our imagination that it summons an image of this woman utterly unlike how she's presented in the text. So I think we should call her what the text calls her. We should call her a Ba'alat because it indicates that she's an expert. Right? She's an expert at this, right? And clearly she is. Also, for my Star Wars fans, right, you'll recognize the name Endor. Endor in Hebrew, of course, becomes Endor in Star Wars, and there's a lot of and so anyway. So the Ba'alat of Endor, it's very clear that the that text in the Hebrew Bible clearly believes in the power of the Ba'alat of. We don't learn anything else about her. She comes into the story, she gets a few verses, and then she's gone. We never learn anything else about her. At the same time in the Hebrew Bible, there are a lot of weirdos, right? A lot of weirdos, right? Bible's full of weirdos. The most weird perhaps are Elijah and his student Elisha. And these two guys are associated with all kinds of miracles. As you may remember, they're weird prophets from back in the day. They're called Ish Elohim, men of God. It's a weird specific term for folks who are able to not only do prophecy but also do miracles. And the only times in the Hebrew Bible where the dead are resurrected are always in relationship to Elijah and Elisha. That's the only time in the Hebrew Bible. That's amazing, because the dead being resurrected is a big deal, because typically only God has power over life and death, and Elijah and Elisha are both respectively able to resurrect the dead, at least those recently dead. In fact, people can be thrown into a grave and jump out alive. It's really spectacular. By the Second Temple period, Solomon, King Solomon, the son of King David, is also associated heavily with magic, specifically the ability to control demons. Again, remember in the apocalyptic period, angels and demons kind of burst on the scene in a way that they hadn't previously in Israelite literature. And these demons, these sort of supernatural malevolent creatures, or at least quasi-malevolent creatures, can be controlled through various magical means. And one of the magical means that we learn about is the Dead Sea Scrolls, by the way, and also Josephus and Philo both recount tales in the first century of the ability of Solomon to control. Specifically, demons were used in the construction of the first temple. That's interesting and weird, because you have a king of Israel using a bunch of demons to control them, right? Specifically the demon Asmodeus, who's actually a Persian demon, right? Remember that Zoroastrian connection, right? Ashmedai is a Persian deity, a Persian demon, not an Israelite one, but he's ported into Judaism during the process of the Babylonian exile of the Persian period. So Solomon has the ability, at least early on, at least by the Second Temple period, to manipulate demons. And for folks out there who are interested in magic, you probably already know, there's an entire branch in the Western magical tradition called Solomonic magic that carries this idea forward to this day. There are people out there to this day practicing variations of Solomonic magic that survived all the way back from the Second Temple period, that have survived into the Middle Ages until now. I won't say that they're exactly contiguous, but there's at least a tradition of Solomon as having the ability to control demons, specifically in the construction of the first temple. Now, that story doesn't occur at all in the Hebrew Bible. There's no evidence there in the Hebrew Bible, but it does begin to occur in the temple period, in the apocalyptic period, and we see it again as early as things like the Dead Sea Scrolls, where there is an exorcistic psalm attributed to Solomon who can do some demon rodeo. Would you go to a demon rodeo? I would go to a demon rodeo. All right. The other place, right, where we also see is in the Galilee. The Galilee in the first temple, in the Second Temple period, was kind of jumping, hopping with weird dudes who could do miracles. You may know Choni the Circle Maker, right? Who is famous. I think it's my partner, Rabbi Alana Albert's favorite rabbi of all time is Choni the Circle Maker, who we had the great privilege of davening at his kever, his tomb in the Galilee. Choni, as you may know, is famous for forcing God to make rain, but not make it rain a lot, right? Choni said, I'm going to stand in this circle, and I'm going to stand here until God makes it rain. Eventually, God made it rain, but God punished Choni, made it a torrent. And Choni said, "That's too hard, God. Turn it down a notch." And God turned it down a notch and made it rain normally, and Choni left his circle. This almost led to the excommunication of Choni, because the idea here was that Choni was using powers to manipulate God. That's the thing. How cool is that? Of course, the other guy that we know from this time period, the famous exorcist and the Messiah, we may know him. His name was Josh, Yeshua of Nazareth, better known as Jesus. Although I think calling him Josh, fine with him. Yeah, his name just is the Jewish, the Aramaic word for Joshua. Of course, Jesus also engaged in a great deal of miracle making, predominantly exorcism. Jesus, if he were not known as the Messiah and the central chord of Christianity, would probably be known as a pretty famous Jewish exorcist. In fact, many of the miracles that he did involved exorcism. Another famous rabbi from this time period, of course, is Hanina ben Dosa, for a range of supernatural feats, including exorcism, but also teleporting, flying around. Yeah, Hanina ben Dosa, according to the Talmud, could teleport and fly around. He also engaged in nightly duels with the queen of the demons. The demons have a queen, they have a king as well. Lilith is the queen, and Ashmedai is the king, depending on what text you look at. But Hanina ben Dosa was famous for all kinds of supernatural feats, including engaging with Roman emperors along supernatural lines, as well as great stories in the Talmud about him. Of course, we should also mention Shimon bar Yochai, who would be famous as the writer, allegedly, of the Sacred Zohar, the central text of Kabbalah. We'll do that in a few weeks. But of course, Shimon bar Yochai is also attributed to have committed a great deal of miracles. My famous, of course, is that after hiding from the Romans in a cave for many years, he emerged from the cave and was so disgusted with the piety of the people around him, late fire shot forth from his eyes and killed a bunch of people. And he realized that his powers were too strong, and he had to restrain them. And so he retreated back into the cave to wait it out. So we have something like Jewish Superman. All of the guys I think invented Superman were Jewish, so I don't know. Maybe the laser eye thing they learned later. I have no idea. I like to believe that Superman's laser eyes are attributed to Shimon bar Yochai, but I'm just gonna believe that. I'm just gonna go believe that they are derivative of Shimon bar Yochai, but I don't think that's true. Bimachir, of course, is Jesus engaging in the exorcism. His most famous the Geraseniac, who famously threw into a bunch of pigs and ran them off a cliff. There's a really great anti-colonial read of this exorcism ritual that I think is really important. But that would be a story for another day. Now, you might just think, oh, all this magic stuff is unique to a bunch of weirdos in the Galilee. Jesus and those cats running around with him. No. Rabbinic literature, the Talmud, is absolutely filled with all kinds of magical practices, including things like abjurations. They're magical potions to be used against various kinds of demons. There are all kinds of demons in the Talmud. The Talmud is full of demons, specifically disease-causing demons. There are massive lists in the Talmud of lucky and unlucky numbers. One of my favorite discussions in the Talmud is in Pesachim, the tractate about Pesach, where you are told you cannot drink wine in pairs, because that attracts. And if you drink wine in pairs, right, that can be bad. So why don't we do 4? When you can't do 4, you have to interrupt every single glass of wine with a unique action that interrupts them, so you're always drinking wine odd numbers, 1, 1, 1. Also, by the way, if you've ever wondered why we say on Pesach, welcome to everyone who wants to come, they can come in to eat, we always say that in Aramaic. Why do we say it in Aramaic, not in Hebrew? Well, the rabbis say the demons don't understand Aramaic. They do understand Hebrew, so we say it in Aramaic. The demons will get invited into our house, eat our food. Not kidding you. That is a belief in Rabbinic Judaism about why we welcome people into our home in Pesach in Aramaic, not in Hebrew. Demons don't understand Aramaic. I don't know why they don't take a Bible class or do a lingo class to learn it, but the demons are very busy. Further, the Talmud is filled with astrological speculation. There are amulets and incantations, specifically, for instance, one against blindness. There's a pretty famous one there against blindness. There's also a really famous one where you kind of engage in a duel with a demon, and it causes the demon to blow up if you do it correctly. There are also even the accounts in the Tractate Sanhedrin of the creation of artificial people and animals. These are typically referred to as golems, and we will be spending some time talking about golem with the Sefer Yetzirah. Now, all of that stuff I just mentioned is considered completely allowable in the Talmud. You can do astrology, you can make artificial humanoids, you can banish demons, you can do all kinds of stuff, right? There's a lot of things that look a lot like magic in the rabbinical imagination, but what's really clear is that not everything is allowed. For instance, we read in Pirkei Avot in the Mishnah, right? The more flesh, the more worms, the more possessions, the more worries, the more women, the more witchcraft, the more uncouthness, and the more servants, the more theft. It's a famous line from Pirkei Avot. But again, the more women are the more wives, the more witchcraft. Of course, it's clearly misogynistic, but we also see here there's still a combination of witchcraft, right? Again, linked with women. Again, what we have here, right? What men do, what rabbis do, summoning demons, making things, that's okay. It's when women do stuff that's witchcraft. You see it, the othering, right? When men do it, yeah, we can get by. Women do it. And this again, here's an example of what seems to me patently a form of magic, right? This is from Tractate 18 of Babylonian Talmud. 18 has to do with divorce. The rabbis taught, on coming from a bathroom, a man should not have sex until he's waited long enough to walk half a mile. Why? Because the bathroom demon is with him for that time. And if he does have sex, his children will be epileptic. So we have a theory of epilepsy, a very good theory of epilepsy. But what's the reason? If you go into the bathroom, there's a bathroom demon. By the way, the bathroom demon features prominently in the Talmud. So the bathroom demon, once you go to the bathroom, they attach themselves to you, and they follow you for at least a half a mile. So I guess after half a mile, they go back to the bathroom. And so if you have sex with the bathroom demon attached to you, then your children may become epileptic. Is that magic? Well, it'll do until magic gets here. It looks like magic to me, right? Superstition, magic, religion, the boundary between all these things is incredible, right? The boundary between all these things. Now, if you're curious about if I just list weird things, I'm listing the least weird things, folks. There are far stranger things in Babylonian Talmud about demons and magic that I have not mentioned here. And I've done an entire class for the Federation, in fact, mainly class just on Jewish magic. So you're getting basically the Spark Notes version tonight. But I can guarantee you, if I can fill an 8-week class with Jewish magic, there is a time in that. So after the time period of the apocalyptic, Jewish magic really goes international. That is to say, Jewish magic leaves Palestine, and there is a great deal of magic out there in the world. I may have to speed up a little bit just to make time here, but if I go a little bit over, folks will forgive me. In the early common period, Jewish magic Jews were associated with magic, and Jewish magic was heavily syncretistic, which is to say that Egyptian, Roman, Jewish, pagan elements were all muddled together to form a kind of international magical practice, international magical language. And an enormous amount of magical documents and magical devices are attested in the ancient world. These are gathered together in what is typically called the Greek magical papyri, of which there are numerous examples of Jewish magic being practiced in the ancient world, both by Jews, but also non-Jews using Hebrew or using Jewish names for God for their own magical purposes. Why? Because they thought the Jews and the Jewish God had some kind of special magical power. This is just a gathering of some magical devices that are definitely associated with Jews that have survived from the ancient and late classical world. Here we have love spells, right? If you cast this into a fire to form a love spell, you see a Defixiones, right? Defixiones is a curse tablet here written upon in metal that would be used to curse people. You see amulets here that invoke angels, right, to protect you from various kinds of spirits. You see a curse here on the left-hand side, written on papyrus that is survived from the late classical period, early medieval period. And perhaps most shockingly, you can see one of the 3 skull devices that have been found with Hebrew incantations written on the skull of a dead person. The skull incantations we have, I can pull that up for you later if you want to read the entire incantation. But 3 of these skull incantations have been found throughout the ancient late classical world, and these skull incantations are something that most Jews would be shocked by. The touching of a dead body to do anything at all is completely unimaginable. The use of a skull to write an incantation on to harness some kind of magical power would fill many Jews with shock and disgust, and yet there's no denying that all these forms of magic were being practiced by Jews in the ancient world. I say all of these practices, if you look at Roman, Greek, Egyptian, other practices in the ancient world, you will find the exact same forms of magic being practiced by them. Lead tablets, magical amulets. The skull thing is kind of weird, but magic love spells, right? In fact, you cast this into a fire, and it says, if as this burns, may the heart of Rachel burn for me. We even have Rachel's name written on there. We don't know who Rachel it was, but some Rachel. Think of Rachel, any Rachel. But also we have named people here in this curse as well. So, needless to say, right, just looking at this on the screen, people who say Jews don't practice magic, that's not a thing we do. Well, you got some archaeology to deal with. Like, really? Like, you got archaeology to deal with. There's a lot of this going on, right? And again, this is just what survived. If this what survived, you can imagine how much there was. You can imagine there must have been a ton of this going on. In fact, what's great about this one here is that there are spaces left for the names to be put in, which meant this was made commercially, right? So this device was made commercially, and then the magical practitioner would go in and add the names in later to kind of make it work. This is being sold. This was a commercial object you could buy in the shuk or whatever in the market from a ritual expert, and they would call people to curse people or call people to flourish or whatever. A very popular form of Jewish magic in the ancient world, but also Median and pagan magic, was incantation bowls. Incantation bowls were bowls with images typically of demons. Some of our earliest depictions of the demoness Lilith are found in these incantation bowls. They would be, you would draw an image of the demon that you want to find. You can see that these demons here are bound with chains. You can see that their hands are tied here, or they're bound with chains. And then an incantation will be written around the periphery of the inside of the bowl. And then the bowl would be buried upside down, right, concave part down, in the doorway of your house. And the idea is any demon coming in would be captured by the bowl, right? It's sort of like a glue trap, like you would use on a mouse. Don't use glue traps on mice, that's really, really cruel. But kind of like a glue trap, but for demons. For demons. So these bowls were meant to trap evil spirits from entering your home by turning them upside down and burying them in the lintel of your home. Of course, mezuzahs are used for the exact same purposes. In many cases where there's a terrible illness in a home, still to this day in the Haredi world, the rabbi will ask to check the mezuzahs to make sure they are in order, to make sure that evil spirits didn't enter the home because of a faulty mezuzah. By the way, this demon bowl right here, down to the Kelsey Museum in Ann Arbor, you can see this exact bowl. This is in Ann Arbor at the Kelsey Museum on display. There's an excellent little museum there, but you can see this exact incantation bowl from my Michigan people. Get down, go to the Kelsey Museum, see the incantation bowl. You may notice here this is just a lot of wiggles. You're right, it's a bunch of wiggles, but it's wiggles that look like Hebrews. Vaguely. Well, so if you couldn't read, you might get the wiggle bowl. But if you could read, you would get the real incantation bowl with the real incantation written around it. So we have these illiterate bowls, right, that are written with pseudo-script And by the way, we can always tell who these are meant for because the Aramaic ones are always for Jews, the Median ones are for Medians, the other ones for Christians or whatever. So everyone was using these. There are thousands. If you get your chance to go to the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, they have one of the largest collections of these demon bowls in the world. They have a whole wall of them. So if you really want to get your fill of demon bowls, go to the Royal Ontario Museum and see them. I also say that one day if we ever do Tatia Arts and Crafts for the little kids, if they're going to do like Play-Doh, they should make demon bowls. It's like a completely authentic Bubbies and Baka Day. If they're going to make anything, let them make the little demon bowls and paint the inside with monsters. Wait for them to put that under their bed to like deal with their fear of monsters. I feel like this is an authentically Jewish way of dealing with fears of monsters and demons by allowing kiddos to make these bowls and maybe have a little catharsis and trapping the demons in the bowls. So anyone who says again that Jews don't do magic, well, I got 10,000 demon incantation bowls that you got to deal with. Just as a bit of wrapping up, folks, I want to go through these a little more rapidly. We're coming close to time. Another text that begins to emerge at this time are exactly books of magic, right? Books we might call grimoires. These are books of magic. One of the more famous, very early ones is called the Sefer HaRazim. I've done episodes on my Esoterica channel on almost all of these books. So if you really want to dig deep into some of these books of magic, almost all of these I've covered in depth, 20-minute episodes or so on my channel. So we have this is a book called the Sefer HaRazim that was recovered in fragments in the Cairo Geniza. It dates to around the 8th, 9th, 10th centuries. It could be perhaps earlier. And this system uses an elaborate system of angel magic and magical symbols. These magical symbols here we'll see all throughout Jewish magic to use this magic to get what you want, whether it's winning horse races or gaining love or turning invisible or whatever. The Sefer HaRazim has a spell for you. And uses these various magical, it manipulates angels by using various kinds of magical symbols to get them to do what you want. Remember, the Torah literature does something similar. It allows you to rapidly learn rabbinic lore. Here we're having it used to do a lot more wider things, including things like turning invisible and healing people of sicknesses, and also cursing people. Another famous text from around the 10th century is the Charba de Moshe, the magical book that uses a first section, which is long strings of Hebrew or Aramaic letters, and then you would extract out of those long strings of Hebrew Aramaic letters certain sections. I've highlighted a section here that you would use for doing various things. And you would use those sections along with a magical spell, and those magical spells would empower those code words, and those code words would do all kinds of various things, like turning invisible and making people fall in love with you, cursing people, and all kinds of things that most magical spell books actually do. They're pretty repetitive once you get into them. So this one's interesting because the Sword of Moses is that long list of seemingly random Hebrew letters, which are then extracted out and then used for magical purposes that I mentioned earlier. So the sword is actually what is going on to be used. Some of these magical words also show up later in Christian magical texts, which means that they had the Jews for them so that they could use the magical power as well, and then convict the Jews of witchcraft to kill them. But hey, history's a dangerous place. Other famous texts, right, are the Sefer HaYashar and the Sefer HaMalbush. The Sefer HaYashar is a text of astrological Jewish magic that tells you how specifically to do magic on certain kinds of days so that you can focus your magical power using astrology. Again, anyone who says that ancient Jews don't know astrology, well, got some text here. Of course they do. Everyone's an astrologer. So we have a magical text that uses magic, angel magic, and astrology to manipulate miracles in the cosmos to accomplish various ends. Of course, we have the Sefer HaMalbush, which allows one to make a special kind of cloak or garment inscribed upon with various magical names of God that allow you to do all kinds of things. For instance, summon an invisible army, which doesn't want to assassination army, or whatever, right? Your Jack White quote, with my mouth may vary, right? But you can use the garment to all kinds of magical things, and you write on this garment with various kinds of magical names of God, and you fast and sort of things as well in order to enact the magical power. I picked this image up, by the way, FYI, because this is an image of a Jew from the Middle Ages, and notice he's also forced to wear a yellow device, but notice it's a yellow circle as opposed to a yellow star. So this, I just find this image interesting because he's forced to wear an identifying marker, but it's not the star of later periods, it's the circle. This is also in Germany, a horrifying harbinger of things to come. The most famous book of Jewish magic and history is the Sefer Raziel HaMalach, the book of the angel Raziel. Raziel, of course, is a name that means the secrets of God. This is actually a collection of various books, including the Sefer HaMalbush. It's still printed to this day. In fact, I have a copy right behind me. This book is actually printed in very, very tiny little editions, so you can carry it around in your house or put it in your car. And even the book itself is said to have magical powers even to this day. You're looking at an image here of some magical angelic script from the Sefer Raziel. These devices are meant to allow you either kamayot or amulets, which guarantee you various things or defense from magical evil powers. So again, here we have magical devices, and these magical symbols, by the way, date back all the way, some of them all the way to the Greek magical papyri of the first centuries of the Common Era. So this is a 2,000-year-long process of the practice of Jewish magic. This famous edition was printed in 1701 in Amsterdam, but like I said, it continues to be printed all the way to this day. In fact, I have an entire copy printed on one piece of microfilm, because the idea is as long as you have a copy of the book, even if it's just on microfilm, then the book's torn. Then I have an entire copy on microfilm downstairs with the Sfarim. So this book, the Sefer Raziel HaMalach, is said to have power even just having it. In fact, I have several copies lying around. And so here again, we can see these magical images, and this idea of this magical script continues to be used all in modern occultism, most famously, of course, in the 1530s edition of Cornelius Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy, and it continues to be reprinted in modern books of witchcraft. Modern witches continue to use these magical images all the way down to this day. Jewish magic is alive and well. If you go into Haredi bookstores, you will find books on kamayot and sekulot, books on amulets, books on magical psalms to recite for various magical powers. You can find all kinds of books in the most extremely orthodox communities you want to go. I go into Brooklyn and Borough Park. I go into the very, very extreme Orthodox Jewish books. I can blend in. I go in their bookstores and I look through the shelves and I find books of magic. There are books of magic about how to make amulets, books of astrology, Sefer Mazalot. In the Haredi world, Jewish magic is alive and well today. New books are being written on Jewish magic, and those books are being practiced all the way down till now. In the liberal Jewish world, for instance, in the Kohenet movement. The Kohenet movement, as you may know, is a revivalist, sort of quasi-pagan Jewish revivalist movement that wants to resurrect the idea of a Jewish priestesshood, and magical practices in that world are also incredibly popular. And so in that world, in the most sort of radical left-wing Jewish world, magic is also being practiced. So we have the most radical left-wing world of Jewish practice, magical practice happening over there at the Isabel Freeman Center, right, all the way to B'nai B'rak, where they are publishing books of magic, Jewish magic in the Haredi world. Jewish magic's alive and well, folks. It never went away. It's always been there, right? It's always been there. How do we know condemn it? Condemnations are always proof of practice. It was being practiced by Israelites. That's why they condemned it. Well, it didn't work. The prohibition almost certainly made sure that it would continue to be practiced. It's been practiced all through time. The earliest part of the Hebrew Bible we have is probably a magical amulet. We have evidence of Jewish magic reaching back to extreme antiquity, to the very beginning of the Israelites. We have evidence of it being practiced in the Haredi Black Hat world and in the left of the Kohenet movement. Jewish magic has always been here. It is here, and it will endure. It will no doubt endure. I have some recommendations if you want to learn more about Jewish magic, especially ancient Jewish magic. There are some of these great books by Bohawk and Hariri. The Hariri text, by the way, is published by Wayne State Publishers, so shout out to Wayne State Publishing here just down the street from me. So if you want to take a look at those books, I can't say they're terribly expensive, but they're really high quality scholarship. And if you want the history of Jewish magic up until the rise of the Kabbalah, those are both excellent texts to consult. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me as I explore. Rather than something that unfortunately sometimes I need, sometimes I need, but it doesn't become part of who and why.
You fine. Go fuck yourself.
Even if there is a enormous amount of stores all around the road, the road is still a road. The road is still a road. He goes, oh, everyone knows it's outside. I go, no. Like to never outside.
Oh yeah, I would. There's whores right there.
Gosh,
and they're hot, sweating with a boner.
I was like Denzel watching a flight when he gets to the hotel room.
I'm on it right now.
Sometimes we don't know what we're talking about, but that won't stop us. Nothing can stop us. Ooh, yeah. Show you use love, just rebrand it love. Stronger, better, bigger power, 'cause it is the golden hour. It's the golden hour.
Yeah, we're in it. So, man, what hoodie is that, Derek?
Some Matt Rife merch. I was cold.
Stay golden.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude.
Golden hour privilege?
No, it is now. His tour is obviously the name of his tour. Obviously, Matt Rife ripped off Golden.
He and boy, does he need it.
So I want to tell Matt I want to have a word with him.
You tell him
in Europe right now. A word with him. You know what I mean? Hey, my own fault. You know what? Thank you for taking accountability. Yeah, unlike my wife. Yeah. Wait. I had something I wanted to bring in today, guys. Go ahead. Fucking locked and loaded. Finally. I usually carry the load with bringing in
Did you get a haircut, Chris? Did you get a haircut? A little trim?
No. So that's just my hair.
I think I sent you.
I sent you a picture from you. Yeah, I did. I meant to
so
respond.
long
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, what was the Family Guy thing? You wouldn't pop up for me.
Oh yeah, they just made fun of my hair. Oh yeah, my hair on Family Guy.
On the actual Family Guy,
Yeah,
you didn't
Family Guy,
Photoshop it in.
No, it's on the episode that aired this week. It was like
you know that was happening?
Nah, it was like Chris D'Elia hair tonic. There it is. Go ahead. It's so weird. Get your Chris D'Elia hair tonic, perfect for your stringy events.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, no, that's to me. That's like you might be back.
Someone's a fan. To someone, there's a fan.
No. Yeah, well, I know Seth MacFarlane used to come to my shows and everything, but and he's great. But that was like she couldn't stop thinking about that. Yeah, that to me, like that is up there, but it's obviously not the same as this because I was on the Eminem song. But like I'm like, oh shit, man, when these people like just recognize who you are,
it's a big deal, bro. It's a big deal.
I loved it, dude. I maybe you know.
I just thought you photoshopped it, and I was like, I'm not clicking on that.
Bro, you know me. Why would I ever do that?
I don't know. I was driving, and because it kind of looks photoshopped.
It does. But
And I didn't know you sent it. I thought Nick did because they made a comment. So I'm like, man,
Photoshop. Sure.
this silly group chat.
This silly group chat, man. I'm gonna crash. That's what you should. But no, so anyway, it was cool, and I got hit up like 900 times, and I was like, all right, let me check this out, and then so yeah,
That's so cool.
it is cool, right?
What was the joke that preceded it?
It's basically he's trying to get. I didn't watch the whole episode yet, but the whole episode is in this area, like the Solomon type West Mid.
Yeah.
Western thing, and they're saying they're like selling things that are gross. So they're like, you get wet pants here, and then they go, and they're like, Crystal hair tonic, perfect for your street animated. Yeah, 1,000 times better. It's funny. No, it's funny. Yeah, this is out of context, but yeah, no.
I know that you have gotten references on Family Guy or Simpsons, or you and Rogan, man.
Oh yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
But Simpsons was nasty to Rogan.
Oh really? Well, yeah.
He answers the door at Rogan's house, and he goes, oh, never mind. He had like held bad.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. They do a lot of these. Family Guy's hit and miss. Like sometimes they're nice or they're not nice.
You know, this one was good. It could have been worse. So, yeah.
He's involved in like a lot of Dane Cook ones have been
Oh, on this?
Yeah,
Oh.
Family Guy.
Oh yeah, I don't know if who knows who this came from on that show, but I do. To me, this is the funniest shows of all time. So yeah, I love it. So the fact they even do that, I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, but people kept hitting me up. Hey, you're on Family Guy. I'm like, oh fuck, let me see what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh man. Yeah, it was awesome. So anyway, but I have the thing that I want to talk about with that from that I came locked in. Okay, yeah. Remember last time? Load it up. Remember last time?
Yeah, last time you were a little sleepy.
Remember that. Okay, so we do remember. Dude, how can we forget? No, I understand, and you were right, and I knew you were right. I said, I know not.
Yep.
Well, guys, I know what's going on now. What is it? I was sick. Got sick. And
That's
that
the
was
hot
the beginning of
news.
and that was but you know what I was doing? I was doing the thing where I'm like, I'm not sick.
Yeah.
What
Refuse it.
There was one time during the podcast where I started laughing hard, and I'm like, oh,
Can't feel it.
yeah. And then I went to go work out after that. No, Brandon, I know you're a workout guy, but I couldn't do even close to what I usually do, and I was like, what is going on?
Your whole system shot.
I didn't realize that your system just goes, nah.
Used to it.
Yeah, so I took a few days off from the gym, and then, but man, I was still getting through it. It wasn't like bedridden, but it was shitty. I had to go to fucking where the hell was I? Who knows? Where was I? I don't know. Do you ever do that? Like, where was I last week?
You don't know where you're at.
All the time. Yeah.
The fella's called CT. Welcome to the team.
Yeah, but but it's not from getting knocked around in the head.
Where I'm at right now. Last week, Dominican Republic.
Oh yeah, what were you doing there? Trying to take his
Go ahead.
tiger?
Drop him on.
Yeah.
Send her DR. Forget about it.
Now you're good.
There you go. Enjoy. I'm sorry I have to leave you here.
Yeah.
Enjoy the waves.
Yeah.
I was commentating fights,
Oh
but
yeah.
I was scheduled to be there 3 days, so my wife wanted to stay an extra day. But the first day we get there, I don't speak Spanish, and they go, "What do you want to drink?" And I go, I tell my wife, "Tell them I want to die." And so she says, Diet Coke, and they're like, and I'm like, Diet Coke, bitch. She goes, no, I'm telling her. I go, tell her silver can, red letters,
Yeah.
Diet Coke. And the lady's like, I have no fucking. And then she's like, do you have something different than a regular Coke? And she goes, Coke Zero? I'm like, no, dude, Diet Coke. And then finally we got to the nitty gritty of it. They don't import them to the Dominican Republic.
What?
So I left early.
Oh wow, dude,
I changed my flight and left.
What
Yeah,
percentage reason Diet Coke? You changed your flight?
97%.
Oh my god.
I can't even imagine.
Doesn't do it.
No, sir.
So I have a question. Like, you're gonna work. You're working in the Dominican Republic, right? Okay. You go to your wife. She's like, "Where you going this weekend?" I say, "Oh, I'm going to the Dominican Republic." Yeah. Oh, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I have to come. Yeah, it's just like there's no world. Yeah, go to the Dominican with your wife, right?
But there's whores everywhere. Professionally. I was like, oh, this is cool.
You know, if the plane just started jizzing, it's like a wet dream, but in real life.
But the thing is they didn't tell me the venue was outside. So I'm in a cool 3-piece suit. And I walk out and Jimmy goes, dude, what are you doing? I go, what do you mean? I look spicy. I dress spicy. I'm on TV. I look spicy.
I'm so sorry. I look great.
I'm so sorry.
I'm getting a lot of mileage out of this suit, but it looks great.
Wait.
He spicy Friday.
He said to him that he looked spicy the same way he said to that bar. Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just
I was
drunk as shit because you're.
and he goes, no.
Oh,
I look
no.
at the guy run the thing. I go, buddy, do you not think that's something you should have mentioned when we did the whole production breakdown?
Yeah.
Is that not something outside?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, everyone knows it's outside. I go, no. Flights are never outside.
No, yeah, I would.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
I assume there's a fucking arena.
Oh, it
No
doesn't
Diet Coke. I'm outside. I left.
With my wife, there's whores.
I sat there hiding with a phone.
I was like Denzel Washington off fight when he gets to the hotel
I'm
room.
horny right now.
I'm like, oh,
That's a great
I'm about to bust. I'm about to bust.
The adjoining door was like, yeah. That is a great scene in that movie.
Yeah.
Isn't that the
Because
best?
you're in the movie theater like this. Don't do it, Giselle. Don't do it, man. Don't
Well,
do it.
if you're black, you're doing that. If you're white, you just watch a movie. But if you're black,
Even white people are like, come in.
But then remember that Simmons court and they go, sir, you drunk? He goes, I'm drunk. Right?
Yeah, you probably just,
That's Brendan.
like, you know,
That's
owned
Brendan.
it. That's a great movie.
Holding his dick.
I realize how great that movie is.
I'm horny right now. I'm horny right now.
I just keep saying that on
Are you horny, sir?
I'm horny right now. I'm jizzing right now.
There's a Dominican hooker underneath this table right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you have fun. Dude, speaking of, like, fights, you know, man, those fights, man, were crazy.
Didn't watch it.
Did you tune in, Nick? I know Nick's, of course Nick did. Nick sent the group chat a message, and I was like, there's no way you guys are tuning in.
Well, yeah, you know what, Nick, if I'm home, if I'm not doing shows, I'll watch, but it's like, I wish I would have watched the beginning, because I was saying to Nick, like, I think that you need the preamble to really
Appreciate it.
because,
Well,
be like
the story.
No, I'm saying, but it'd be like, if you build a story, if you're into basketball, you can watch any basketball.
Yeah.
But there's something special when you're like watching, or like, you know,
Yeah, of course.
the
It's
stuff.
the
So
story.
get the story. I saw like a brutal fight, and then I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have known who this person is.
Background, yeah, makes it way better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might be missing is like just more, even some more social media presence about what's about to happen, who these fighters are, and just get it out there, because I think it would have made it a lot better for just a casual fan. Because I'm just a casual fan.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Nick. Especially that guy. Like, he hasn't had that many fights. The hardcores we know is. All this, like, this workout.
And then who was in the because that guy right there. That what a brutal fight this was. For
about 25. It's only 250 pounds.
It didn't seem to be any, like, this was just a brawl.
Eesh.
Yeah, man. It was wild.
How do you eat wild? Jesus. How do you eat those?
I mean, that's right.
Okay. That's right. All right,
It's funny.
it's all good.
It's funny because they both had to go to the hospital after this fight, and they were riding the same ambulance. And the white dude looks over at Curtis Blade and goes, dude, why won't you just give the fuck up?
That's so
He goes,
funny.
look at us. Why didn't you just give up?
Wow. Wow, let's just we should at least finish it, huh? They go.
Do you think if one of them would have tried some sort of takedown move, they did? But in the middle of that brawling part, there was at one point where their faces were just bloody, and I'm like, somebody try something different.
They're too tired, and then both of them are high-level wrestlers, so they kind of negated it. Takedown.
My boy won.
Your boy Paul. There's nothing more tiring in fighting than wrestling. There's nothing that exerts your energy more than wrestling. So especially from that movie.
Trump told your boy to be model.
I did see this.
Oh, dude, this was gay. So I was like, whoa. Thank you, sir. Thanks, man.
You would have sucked him off.
Yo, 100%. But he's already on Epstein Island.
He's already tapping him on the leg. Come on.
And Paulo Costa is literally the biggest Trump fan. He loves Trump. He's never met him. That was his first time meeting him. He's like, you're my favorite. Like, cool, man. God, you're way too beautiful to be fighting.
Yeah, the fact that how good looking do you have to be to compliment Trump and have him be like, it's all good, man. You're good looking. That's crazy. So wait, but
or it's a gay man. There's also
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If it's a very look, it's Trump should have threw a pause in there. He should have thrown a pause. Or you're great. You're a good looking pause. But what's
No, that would be even more.
yeah. Just think about it. Did you see what Trump often comments on people's looks? Did you see the thing where he was at the golf course and the wife was like Trump, and he gets out of the golf cart, and he's like, oh, she's in beautiful shape, she's in great shape. Come here, and he hugs her. It's like crazy.
Remember the one day on the plane, he's like the fat pig with the question over there.
Look, it's all about looks, which is wild.
And he's not exactly handsome.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, listen, there's certain things, man. Like maybe you're super rich. Maybe Elon Musk can say or do whatever he wants, right? And he's like,
Is that it?
But like when you're the president,
you're the freaking president of the United States.
This is it.
Max.
Oh, I gotta come get this.
On a picture.
Okay, first of all,
his feel.
you know what? If I'm a leader of another nation or people that hate him, now you know how to kill him.
100%.
True. Careful, Eric. True. Careful saying that, and I don't agree with you.
This is my thing, though. Where's the Secret Service?
Well, they're right there.
He's there with a giant gun to the
The
left.
drone catcher. That's what that thing is.
You see him in the beginning. He has a giant fucking shaft.
This Trump just.
No,
Probably just be like, should you be able to just president and hug him? Just
Why bitch killing the president?
it's like
You don't have to worry about that.
It's like that one. You don't except for the fucking what was the one? Oh man, it's such crazy. Where I think it's some Asian territory where the spy just walks up and rubs their mouth and then the guy.
Oh yeah, kills the Asian dude. I've seen that video.
I know.
Needles in her titties.
It's just the power.
She's like,
Austin Powers. Yeah.
two little needles by like this.
Oh, I saw a movie that's bad, and I thought of both of you. I'm like, oh, these two would like
I
it.
love it.
It's a terrible movie. It's called Primate. It's a horror movie.
Yeah, it looks bad.
I figured you guys would watch it.
I wouldn't. No, I didn't want to. It does look bad though.
I saw this and I was like, no.
You know what it is? It's fun. It's fun. Like,
Yeah.
he kills one of the teenagers by putting his hands in his jaw and rips his jaw off. It's fun.
Yeah, but people, I don't. Is this one of those? I don't love this term, so bear with me. But this is what this is. This like a creature feature, like one of those fucking.
The fuck are you talking about? Like Anaconda?
Yeah.
Like Anaconda? Yeah, basically, yeah. That's why it's always one name, and then the creature is the name of the movie, by the way.
Oh, like Aliens,
Primate.
Predator,
I guess it's Supernatural.
Lion King.
No, not Lion King.
Lion King.
It's not Lion King. It's not a creature.
Yep, creature feature Lion King, good one.
Fucking,
Bugs Life.
The new season.
Lilo and Stitch.
Can't think of the one. Can't think of it.
Garfield.
Johnny Depp plays the lizard. God, keep going. Yeah.
Oh, Rango. What are you talking about? Rango.
Oh, wow. Chin chimes in. Has he ever chimed in? Rango. It's his favorite fucking movie.
Oh, no, because Chin's in it. Chin's a voice in it.
Yeah.
No, he is.
I did the commercial.
Chin was the voice in Rango.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He was a voice for the movie in the fucking Rango.
Okay, but you know, no, it wasn't.
Chin, bring it up. Chin, bring it up.
Text it to me. Text it to me.
Okay, I'll look for it. Now listen, he's not the lizard. He's not
That's the fucking lizard.
I know.
If you
Cool,
Google
man.
Chin
Oh,
Rango,
I know what's going on here. I know what's going on. You were in Family Guy. Chin just one-upped you because he's in Rango.
yeah, that's not cool, bro.
Wow.
And I brought it up too. Damn, you know, Chin was sitting on that when I said the Family Guy thing.
Oh, I've never seen him with more energy in my life. He goes, Rango, it's Rango.
So you the Asian off on some black girl at the store. Okay, no. That's what you guys are doing.
Wait, did I?
There's a lot going on in that group chat, man.
Sometimes, yeah.
You got a Diet Coke in here for this.
Oh, I didn't see this, but I saw you sent it. I didn't click. Oh, let's see it. Should we watch this?
We moved to this. He sent me the link.
Well, it's the same thing. It's just the same thing. We need.
And then all kind of waiting one. Oh, you cannot. You just told me to go back to my company. I signed up to the EBT card in there. Guess who paid for that? I did. You know oh my God, well, you got this stuff, bro. What? Oh! I pay taxes for the. Oh, you told me to go back to my company? You got fucking Jason, big ass. Upside down woman, look at that. Oh! You look like a bumping, okay? Pay the bill looking ass. Out of here. Pay me and that.
Oh man, he's cooking, kinda. She didn't know she got an Asian with a little bit of flavor there.
Yeah. That's way better than Rango. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jen killed that.
It's like I love just crash outs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so what's this, man?
Here we go.
See, that's Chin right there. Look at his eyes.
Okay.
EBT card in there. Guess who?
This is just what Chin said.
Us all kind of waiting one. It is the same.
Yeah, that's
No, you know what?
that's top five.
You should have seen.
Top five Nick
You
moments
should
right
have seen
there.
Nick's face. How proud he was. I was all for it.
Nickelodeon Movies presents
See, that's
Oh,
Chin
that's
singing.
Chin.
That's
Awesome. Multicultural. How much did they pay for this, Chin? He said $1,000. You had no agent. Wow. A big commercial for a movie? $1,000.
How?
Wow. It's Asian slave labor.
Guys,
You also had to make a phone at the same time.
how?
They did $1,000 on my break for making iPhones.
How did this happen? Why does Chin not even have a microphone?
yeah, I tell them. Microphone.
What is the what?
He has a mic sitting in front of him.
It doesn't work.
No, he doesn't turn it
Oh.
on. He has a mic and he's doing something over there.
A camera on him.
Somewhere it's just chilling.
That's unbelievable. Wow, Jen, that's cool.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, that is cool.
I do. I'm not even trying to one up Chris and
Uh-oh.
Jen right now. Your boy booked a national commercial.
What?
I come week.
What is it?
I can't tell you.
Oh, dude,
I'll tell you off air. I fucking wish, dude. I would have led with it if it's not.
Will you be here on Tuesday?
I get there Tuesday morning. I shoot all day Tuesday. I leave Wednesday at 5 a.m.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Ooh-wee. But that's my doing. They wanted to go later, but I took to practice.
Yeah.
So no.
Yes, so pop on and record here. Yeah. Wow, that's wild, dude. Cool.
I can't wait to tell you guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it. Anyway, I was sick.
Yeah, we my chest is filling up. Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. What do you think it was? A virus or something?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I guess so. I think my body was just like, you know what, bro? You know,
I'm tired. Right from traveling and shit.
Yeah.
So we're like, I'm on my workout shit now. So I got on my I got on my rowing machine.
Oh, yeah.
And then Rachel, there's a Pilates place down the street, right?
Pilates tough.
Okay, check this out. She comes and goes, I want to start going, can I get Pilates? I was like, yeah, so how much is it?
So expensive.
Crazy. Okay?
Like $600 a month?
It's unbelievable. Okay, and I say to her, well, because they're saying when you sign up, you have to sign up for 3 months.
Oh, no. We're going class by class.
Brendan! I said,
You're going to stop in 3 sessions.
You seen the movie?
You've seen the movie. So I'm saying, we can go do one, see if you like it.
Yes.
Okay, see if you like it. You know? So, okay, I agree with you. But you can't even get one. You can get this 3-pack.
Sure, yes.
It's $100 and something. Get the 3-pack. Okay? See if you like it. She goes to one class. She comes back and goes, I loved it. I signed up for...
I signed up for 3 years.
She said, I signed up for the thing. I'm like, you have to go.
Yeah.
It's a mortgage.
I said, now you have to go. And I'm going to be on you. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, hey,
And it's not because I care about you. You know, you need to be fit or anything.
No.
You just got to fucking...
No, we're not wasting money.
Eric, speaking of, you know what might be about this? So, Fight Camp sent me, it's like a heavy bag, and then you download the app and you stream it to your TV, and I do it outside, you can do it indoor too, but it has all these dope workouts, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
But it has trackers, like carb tracker, calories, how hard you hit. If you go to my Instagram, Nickerton, it's on the post. I'm in the bag with Tiger against each other.
Oh, I see that. That was cool.
Buddy, I'm telling you, I was thinking about you. You would crush this, dude. You can track all your shit.
So you did that? Okay.
So they'll show you a combo to do, and then so you do that for like 30 seconds,
cool.
and then they'll teach you another combo, and then there's intermediate, and then like advanced, and then pro. So you can pick different levels.
Damn.
And then if you I do it with my kiddo, but you can go against a computer and say what level computer, pro level or amateur.
Whoa.
I gotta say, you know,
You gotta keep up.
when I was watching this video, you know what I was impressed by? Look at footwork. Like, he is like, you look like a fighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this.
I would hope so.
This, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh man, look at this. He's ready. You ready to go?
Oh, buddy, if the UFC didn't test right now, your boy would be fucking guys up in the top 10.
If they didn't test, what, because you're on
Yeah, you
the
can't test. Your boy's on sauce. Your boy's on sauce. Your boy's on sauce.
Adorable. Oh my goodness.
Man, Billy's getting into it.
She's killing it.
Yeah. The fact that she wears it, Wolf will not. I have some boxing gloves for Wolf. He just won't. You don't want to put them on.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Who wants to put those on when they're 3?
Yeah, but they like if you hold the mitts though, they fucking let my kids want to do it. Tiger's like, Dad, I'm gonna be a UFC fighter. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know that meme? No, you're not.
Billy turned 3.
That's great.
My Billy, yeah.
When was the B-day?
12. April 12.
Getting older.
Let's take a break, guys. Talk about Quince. This time of year always makes me rethink what's in my closet.
I'm trying. I try to get fewer things, but better ones. I did a haul, pieces that are well made and easy to wear all the time are what's important. And I keep coming back to Quince. The fabrics are elevated, the fits are thoughtful, and sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes high quality everyday essentials using premium materials like 100% European linen. And they're insanely soft, flow-knit activewear fabric, which I actually have some.
You like the linen pants, the shirts are lightweight, breathable, and comfortable. You're wasting money on this other stuff. Just have Quince help you out because basically they've got the perfect stuff for spring. They got the pants that strike the right balance between laid back and refined. They're flow-knit activewear, moisture-wicking anti-odor.
Soft enough that they'll actually want to wear it all day. The best part is that the prices are 50 to 60% less than similar brands. How? Because Quince works directly with ethical factories and cuts out the middleman, so you're paying for quality, not brand markup. Everything is designed to last and make getting dressed easy.
Eric likes the Quince linen pants. They're his go-to and breathable. He's like, man, it's so
Not like no Asian kids been on my clothes.
yeah. But he told me how inexpensive it was to get that. I'm a jealous boy now. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/golden for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada. That's go to QUINCE.com/golden for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/
Getting older, folks. Chin, what, 50?
whatever, dude.
49. Sorry, 49. Chin's legit 49. This weekend, all his friends and family came out this weekend.
Was the fridge open?
That's
They got him a gallon of kimchi.
Yeah, man, that's Wolf can't say sleep, he says heat.
Oh wow, it's like he's Australian.
Yeah.
Apes.
He goes, Mommy, heat.
Sounds like he's been listening to my podcast.
Why does it sound like that?
To Chin, I wonder if the laptop starting to die.
Did that out?
Let's go to my AI. I'm making the AI series.
Hold on, before we even get off to that, because we just spent 50 minutes talking about AI last time.
Oh my god, I got it. I'm into it here.
One mention for fucking 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's the entire episode.
This week.
It's the entire episode, though. You did a tutorial and that was on it.
I'll be in fucking Chicago. So let's click slate.com. Go to here, Griffin. Go to Florida.
Or is it Chris or
Shopper Gate.
Yeah, see, it fucks people up.
Right, but the people from Chicago.
It has a big, lots of big things.
You know what? It has a what? It has a
Shubbard's like a big suburb. Shubbard's huge.
New Westminster, BC, and then, it doesn't want to scroll, so that's fine. But Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Nashville, chrisley.com.
You don't have to scroll that much because I don't have the shows. Wow, EricGriffin.com now. Yeah, baby. That's local shows if you're in LA. Ooh, we got the local shows up now, ready to go.
I like that.
And then Ontario Improv this weekend.
You know what? Eric's doing too much.
April 18th, North Iowa Comedy Festival. Raleigh Improv May. So those are the week's upcoming shows. And then if you're in the Hollywood area now, people always ask me, hey, where are you performing this week? Now that I'm controlling my website properly.
That's not going to stop.
I know, but now you can go to ericgriffin.com and see.
Eric, you're good with AI. We're changing the shop show back to the very name of the show, the Big Brown Breakdown, and I'm graphic.
Big Brown Breakdown. All right, I'll let you know. So, no more.
It comes up fucking corny John. Play the John Wick thing.
It's so good. I didn't put the right prompts, but it's still fucking. Yeah.
Oh my god. There's no drug rape I've ever seen.
And look, I'm being attacked by.
That's kind of sick, actually. What if this was the movie?
Yeah. I'm calling that John Thick.
That's kind of sick.
He'll be Luke Beige.
My favorite is this. Yeah, with the knife.
I know. It's so funny. It's like these video rendering programs. The thing is specific about what you wanted.
What did you put on?
I just said like I had to describe myself. So you make a character, you make an avatar of yourself, so it looks like you.
Okay.
And then I said, give myself a all black suit, give me chin length black hair.
Okay.
And then I'm walking down the street and hot dog vendors attack me, and I fend them off because I'm an assassin like John Wick. But
That's what you wrote.
yes, but you have to write even more specific things, and it'll really give you what you want.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This looks pretty good.
I don't know what program you're using, but take like in Claude, put in what you type to the video thing, and it'll give a more specific one with like lighting or whatever.
I did that later, but I just thought this was
This is
funny.
a later-
where's the later one?
I'm calling it. No, I didn't make the video. I like this.
To be honest,
I'm calling this Unk AI. You know what I
that's
mean?
funny. To be honest, that doesn't look so bad. That,
Yeah.
but once it starts moving,
Yeah, once it starts doing the thing, it's like
so you put.
I also had to put. I said, because I made another one, but it was too. The guy was too buff, and I was like, no, that's not really looking like me. So I said, I'm kind of pissed off that how I described it. It actually, it came out to like,
Oh, what did you describe?
my body.
That's funny.
I said, portly, heavy set,
Pear shape.
shaped like an ostrich.
Upside down, bowling pin looking ass.
Yeah. From the Asian.
Do you mean upside down bowling pin looking? What you got?
Because I did this one, it just like I do this picture. Yeah, I'm gonna send a picture. Yeah, man. You know what I was thinking about with that trip AI? So, like, say you're reading a book,
Sure.
and then now you could like put this book into the AI, and then it makes a story, a movie for you, or a cartoon, whatever, and you can find, you know what I mean?
The possibilities are
And
endless.
that's how the audiobook. That's how the audiobook was.
You can't stop talking about AI. It's unreal.
It's gonna pass you by, and you're gonna be
Good
like,
idea, but keep it to yourself.
No, it's not going to pass us by because we got you fucking here, dude.
Yeah,
He's going to keep
you're the
bringing
AI expert.
damn right, bitches.
AI on AI, all in on AI.
Oh, and you know what else? Wait, guys.
More AI shit.
Not AI, it's something else. People,
Allen Iverson.
my comedy specials, like I don't know how they ended up here.
They're on Tubi.
But they're on Tubi. You can watch them both for free. People always ask about, I never see you on let me see your comedy. Watch my comedy. Ugly Truth is my first special in 2016, and then the American Warrior came out in like 2018.
Oh, dude, I know it's stealing all the views on Tubi. It is my Your Head's Gone Wild. So watch that, and then watch Eric's special.
Yeah.
We're taking over Tubi. Come on over to the Tubi walk, Chris. It's warm. It's warm.
I mean, to be or not to be, huh? You know what I mean?
I don't know, but Tubi's getting big. But whatever. At this point, I don't care. I just want people to watch it so you can
Who
see
cares? You just want people to see it.
Yeah, because I came at a certain time when I was doing this where like internet wasn't like this. Things weren't like this, right? You could go back and take a look. You know?
No more. Oh, what did you put in the prompt, bro? Come on.
Pins?
So like, I was like, nah, this is fast.
When you see that, what's that make you feel?
This guy with
The penguin.
No, what's that make you feel?
I'm like,
I gotta
get my shit.
Yeah, because that's kind of dope.
Yeah, I kick Brendan's ass if I look like
Never get out of the street, bro. You the whole state guy.
But it's
that kind of annoying again. Well, you're annoying.
I know it's too real.
No. Well, bro, wait. I think I'm annoying.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
This is not even. Yeah.
There's so many ways you're annoying. You know what I mean?
I don't even want it. I'm saving you from
how annoying you could be.
From my. If you want to hear my 35, 40 minute podcast is on, I'm not going to say it because it's my podcast, but another room service one. Bro, I can't. If I don't have to,
You can't do that.
But you know what, Chris? The common denominator is you, Bubba.
I said that on congratulations. I said that on congratulations.
I don't know. I need to hear first.
It's not me. They all apologized. This was me waiting for my food.
A nice hotel?
Very nice.
So what's nice?
No, you know what it was? I explained this, but it's the mid-tier hotels, the nice tier hotels. They don't give a fuck because the
Like
nice
Holiday Inn?
no, that's low. But I'm saying like
Bedroom fit?
no, like
West.
oh yeah,
The best beds. The best beds.
right, okay, fine. I'm not
Remember like an Omni?
yeah, like that, yes. But I don't want to call out the fucking rough time, but it was a nice hotel. I go in, I go, oh, awesome, yeah, and not awesome. I'll just say this: 3.5 hours. That's not
Wait, what? Hold on. What did you order though? Hold on. What'd you order? And where'd you order at? What time?
What could I have
What
ordered?
did you order? Like a small Asian Hawaii or something?
A 3 Taj Mahal?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't fucking know.
Salmon, bro.
You ordered food.
What? At what time?
That doesn't matter.
8:30.
All right.
Wait. Here's my thing. I don't care what
Sounds
time
like
it
it's
is.
later.
If on the menu it says,
Oh yeah, I know.
from if we serve food at this time and I call for food,
Listen. We're three road dogs. We're three road dogs. You gotta know after doing this for a number of years, you know if you order late, that shit ain't coming fast.
Fine.
Especially when you're trying to get salmon.
Not coming fast is like, okay, 35 minutes.
Yes.
40 minutes,
35
okay.
minutes is pretty good.
40 minutes is not
40
coming
minutes
fast.
is like not coming fast.
I agree.
3 hours is
more.
somebody needs to get fired.
Yeah. Did somebody die?
Yeah.
Is there an emergency?
Is there a fire in this hotel? I'm with you.
I called them downstairs. Hey guys, I'm worried why you haven't called me to evacuate. Because there's obviously a fire in the building. Because I haven't got my food and it's been 3 hours.
What'd they say?
So many different things, bro. I went down and up and down and up.
Oh, you even went down?
Bro. It was a party, bro. I was talking to the person who checked me in. I was talking to the kitchen. I was talking to bro. They got to the point where if you really want to listen, I'm not gonna fucking. But if you really want to listen. But they were like, the chef went home. They were like, oh, we got another one. And I'm like, okay. You know, like, he lives here in the hotel. And he woke up to, it wasn't just me. There were other people like, where the fuck's all my food? Wow. Yeah, I don't even, bro.
That's crazy.
I don't even know.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy for me about you guys? You know what's crazy? Is you fight for the food for 3 hours. I go, after an hour, they go, yeah, I don't know, man. I go, all right, fuck it. I'm not eating tonight. And I go to sleep because I'm not a hoe.
No, I need to get my macros.
It's not even about the food anymore.
It's not. No, it's about
That's what you don't understand. It's not about the food. Fuck the food. I'll throw the food out. It's about accountability and doing the thing that you said you were going to do.
At 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's not 2 in the morning.
It was 8 o'clock.
Bullshit.
It was not.
It's
It was
after the
not.
show. A little later.
It wasn't after the show. I landed at 8:30. So after that.
Okay, so airport, by the time you get there, by 10 at least.
No.
And then they have to wake the chef up. They have to wake the chef up.
No, they have to fucking wake the chef up. It was open.
You just said they had to wake the chef up.
Well, this is 3 hours later because whatever chef, the chef just was like, you know what? Fuck y'all.
It's because nobody ever orders, I bet. Was it like a Wednesday night?
This guy.
You ever been anywhere?
Yeah, did you go places?
It's a hotel.
Yeah.
With big lights.
Hey,
Everyone was there checking in.
Wait. This is the guy that changed his flight for a Diet Coke.
The fucking guy.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
He's in his wool fucking sweater.
Yeah.
On his flight. I got it.
Dominican Republic, you know,
Diet Coke. Just jizzing everywhere.
thinks he's Denzel at the fucking,
Just having wet daydreams.
you know what I mean?
it was fucking one person.
So just Uber Eats, dude.
That's true.
Postmates.
That's true.
That's the fucking move.
Except for they kept saying it's coming, it's coming, it's
Right. Oh, they lied to you.
Wow, they lied to you, Brendan.
Yeah.
Oh, Coca-Cola
They
Light.
call it Coca-Cola Light.
I just was saying it wrong.
Just was saying, just American idiot.
No,
You
no,
don't really
my
stick
mama said, no, Joanna talked to them and just one of them don't know shit.
You know what really happened now? Joanna doesn't want you to Diet Coke.
No, come on, that's like
She was at the bar like, just say you don't have any. But she was saying,
no, because she wanted him to be, so he wouldn't fucking be jizzy.
Oh, you're right.
They don't have it, babe.
She wanted me dehydrated.
Fucking Diet Coke.
She wanted me dehydrated, so I didn't have all that yum sauce.
Yeah, figured it out.
Wow. God, you know women don't.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah.
All that backfire. She had to leave Dominican Republic early.
Yeah.
Oh, you left me there.
She didn't know how serious I was about it.
Hey, Chris, let's talk about Fan Man. Think Dr. What's that, Squatch?
Dr. Squash.
You think Dr. Squash is some small, wholesome company?
Burt's Bees, Native, think again. They've been bought by mega corporations and private equity firms. And they hijack these beloved brands and fill them with the same corporate slop as everyone else. One company is doing things differently. The Van, they started the tallow trend a few years back with their grass-fed tallow moisturizers, and they've been crushing it ever since with hit after hit of clean, nearly edible solutions to your everyday products.
Here's the thing about tallow, it's best moisturizer. It's the best moisturizer on earth because the fatty acids in tallow are nearly identical to the oils in your skin.
Yeah, so the body actually recognizes it. One use and you'll feel the distance. Your skin will be one use and you'll feel the difference. Your skin will be softer and smoother than anything you've got full of chemicals, fillers. So you got to get here with this natural stuff, and because there's no filler garbage, a little goes a long way. This stuff, it lasts.
It's powerful enough to heal the skin. It's safe enough to spread on your toes. I love that. That's real ingredients. Ready to ditch the corporate chemicals? Go to vanman.shop/golden and use code golden for 50% off, 15% off your first order.
That's vanman.shop/golden. Don't forget /golden. Vanman.golden for 15% off your first order. Van Man, real ingredients, no exceptions.
Pluto TV has thousands of free movies.
We're coming at you with everything we got.
This is free. This is free. This is movies like Pineapple Express, the entire Star Trek film franchise, and Gladiator, and TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghost. Pluto TV is always free. Pluto TV, stream now, pay never.
It's Saturday night for the big UFC. I had to get home.
Oh, I hear you. So where was that fight? Oh, God, that's a terrible fight. For a fighter, all the distractions in Miami. What other? I mean, I think if you count that type of distraction places, it's probably Vegas #1 and Miami's got to be second.
Miami might be #1.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah, it depends on your time.
Yeah, especially with the fighters types.
But then you also, you're bad and all that stuff. Yeah, Miami's a pretty.
You have the cocaine in Miami, you have the fat asses, the Colombianos. Am I right?
Hey, this is public service announcement. Don't send Brendan to Miami.
I'm going there first week of May.
Oh, damn, for what?
Cocaine and ass.
Oh, my God.
Oh, imagine Brendan on cocaine. Oh, my God. Just all big with fucking white face.
Sweating.
Just sweat with fucking, just like a streak of white.
I'll tell you what, the cocaine wouldn't get very far with the three of us with those noses, fellas.
I can never. I don't even understand how people
Here.
Eric's a dealer. You go like a...
What is that? Why would I do that?
You're dealing it because you got kilos in there, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cargo, baby.
How much you want? I got you. The coke dragon, they call it.
Just stored cocaine.
The coke dragon.
So dumb.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Nick's got his AI face on right now.
Oh, he's doing
You know what I mean? Oh.
I was reading this thing. You were talking about Miami having distractions. Someone analyzed a couple years ago James Harden's performance in every NBA city, and they got proved he does worse in the cities with better screens.
This is how you know there's two
terrible
people.
in Atlanta.
Well, we're keeping track of this.
The worst performance was in Miami.
Well, now you can.
Wow.
Yeah, but now the AI
He
can
ain't
do this.
Kobe. He ain't Kobe. He ain't Kobe. Kobe went to bed early. You know he did.
No, his distraction is Denver.
His distractions were fun.
Oh,
I don't mean that. But it was fun.
oh, Calabasas. That's why it's helicopter crash. Oh,
I wasn't making a joke. I was just being, talking about the weather.
literal.
I wasn't actually making a joke. I was like, it's a distraction. Unfortunately, it was fun.
And it's actually the pilot's distraction, right?
But I thought he was kind of.
No, he was at a flight. He's not pilot.
Oh, well, these guys are. They just
Take
look at
somebody.
Yeah, but sometimes they do that for fun. It's like these guys, they have everyone's license.
Yeah.
Also with the Mamba mentality,
Yeah. Maybe.
poor guy.
And,
Sucks.
well, about this podcast, though.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh, I mean, was it me really? Or I'm just trying to make sure we don't go back to AI.
Chins and Rango.
Really?
Chins and Rango.
So yeah, that's better.
Chins in
Don't
Rango.
forget, boys, Chins and Rango.
I'll never forget that.
Chin, did they ever reach out for part 2, or? No, you did the one roll and nothing came your way after that? That wasn't your big break?
I didn't know how to do it. I shouldn't.
Yeah, should have.
Is there a rank too? How the fuck you hooked up with that?
Yeah, how'd they even find you, Chin, if you didn't have an agent?
I went to audio engineering school, friends with people there. They worked at a place called Trailer Park that does all the movie trailers.
Oh, you just got hooked up.
They just said audition for the role, and I auditioned and got it.
Okay.
Did you check out Project Hail Mary yet? Or are you still reading the book?
No, I'm still reading the book. I'm going slow because I'm also watching other stuff. I'm watching TV.
That's
What's
in
the-
space, right?
Yeah. Well, it's in the theater now, but
I'm out.
Atlanta apartment complex started using
I've been seeing these things all over the place. Not on the online. I just
the
Do
reaction.
they actually work?
The reaction is hilarious.
They got the motherfucking robot dog in the fucking hood, patrolling the apartment. What the fuck type of AI shit it is? What the fuck? He look like he finna bite your ass.
oh, it's great. Excuse me, Lisa.
Yo!
Well, I mean,
Hello? Oh, baby,
Can you just grab it?
how are you? Where are you at?
It's a person on it.
So, what robot doing for?
To watch the people that don't take stuff.
Oh, sorry. So we're actually like the robotic security dog here.
So, what y'all got to tell us?
stop. So even the robot dogs are in Bangladesh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's bananas, man. That's bananas.
Well, you can stop and be like, oh, by the way, I have a question for you about my fucking phone plan or whatever.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. Get you on the phone. Yeah. Wow.
More of an urban accent, Bangladesh.
wherever
Is it
it
not?
was.
No, it's like
Whatever.
Filipino.
Yeah,
Filipino.
Filipino
Is
or
it?
something. That's crazy.
So we're actually like the
Yeah. Filipino.
Oh, yeah.
Asian.
At first, I thought it was like a Puerto Rican woman. That'd be funny. Sometimes when you wink, sometimes when you move, you actually win.
The robot's got a fat trunk.
With big nails.
I tried to honk the Waymo and it stopped, and some Filipino lady comes on and like tells you not to do it. She was super polite about it, but I also heard they will control them in tight spots. It's not robot.
Oh.
They're like,
Well, the rumors are that they're also being controlled by prisoners. That's the big conspiracy.
You heard that from Sam Tripoli?
Yeah, they just got like they're in prisons, just dudes. You know, they got their goggles on. They're like, boom. To me, that's how war should be fought.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
with Filipino women.
Yeah.
In prison.
Just Filipino. Like, come outside. Yeah.
So I've been seeing the robots. They got them in China and shit, just running around. Just like
I saw a great Elon Musk video. I don't know if it was great or not, but there's some guy asked him, "Why should I invest in Tesla?" It's just what he explained. You just kind of like, yeah. You know what I mean? Did anybody check out any of this Coachella stuff?
no.
It's wild on YouTube. That this time it was like streamed live. And just when you go to the Coachella YouTube, it's just overwhelming all the stuff that was going on. You don't even have to go now. You just had a Coachella party.
Was it Bieber just playing like from his laptop?
Well, the reason why he
the rights to his music.
The reason why he did that is because he sold the rights to his music, and this was a way for him to still play the songs, sort of sing with the songs without having to pay the publishing company. Kind of a boss move, really.
How does that even work? Like, how come that's legal?
Because it's like
Because YouTube's publicly, if you're paying for premium, you can play it. You know what I mean? But
I think there's a different fee to play it. Like if you play basketball music in an arena,
right,
so it's
right.
like cheaper.
Well, the comedy clubs were doing this. So comedy clubs there was a certain time when like they would be like, well, what song do you want to come out to? So there was a certain time that they got in trouble for that.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't just play a song as the thing because you have to get licensing for that. So what they started
$400,000 for this song.
but if they play it off Spotify, I want Back in Black. If they play off of Spotify or Apple Music, that's why because that's how you get your music now anyway.
And you actually owe us $20,000 because we played that Van Halen song 4 times for you.
I wanted to do a bit, but Eric was just hell on getting it.
Just for one. I know, dude.
Just wanted that.
I was with you, Chris.
I had a whole bit. Eric just wanted.
I tried interrupting him.
You just wanted fucking Spotify info out. Well, it's actually, Chris spotted it with the when they came in and they merged with the. Shut the fucking. God damn it, dude. God, I want to make a joke.
Detecting this is just hang tight for a moment with your comedy. So the thing about Spotify, if you're going to use the
I appreciate you. It's the licensing agreement. It's in an arena, and it was so while Brian Callen could play AC/DC.
technically Brian Callen, yes, he could play AC/DC, but if you decide to play Metallica, you're looking at 40% profit loss.
Hey, you?
Yeah, well, get his info out.
Man.
Brian coming out to 25 people. Brian coming out to 25 people.
Hey, catching strays.
Why not?
He always does.
Yeah. But anyways, I was
My boy Teddy Swims was there.
Oh,
my God.
song, it was great.
He's great.
But you actually know him?
Yeah, he's a fight companion.
Oh, he's a comedy fan too. He's a comedy fan.
New dad.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it was me.
And he only got 80 views.
A lot of
New dad with
89.
she looks like
She's like struggling with her pronouns.
Sexy man. I don't know. This is
just something I just would.
How many people I've never been?
Chris, didn't you
never
go to this last year?
No, I've been to Stagecoach.
I remember you went. Oh, Stagecoach. That's right. Stagecoach is like,
How many people? I'm curious to know. You understand about
hey, what?
what's her name? Ruby Rose, which is accusing her of shit?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I didn't read it, but I saw the headline, and it's "You Believe All Women," right? So both telling the truth. Yeah, who do you believe? I don't even know what happened. I just saw the headlines.
She was just saying like 20 years ago in Australia in a club, Katy Perry rubbed her pussy on her or something. Something like that.
How's that? What are you looking for, bitch? What are we doing?
She's said a lot of.
Yeah, she said a lot
happened to her.
Yeah, she
So if you just Google her name, it's like they didn't do this right. I got injured. And it's like,
she got fired from the Batman girl thing because of her behavior on set, according to reports. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, you just kind of go, I don't know. Why are these meetings?
What about Sydney Sweeney? Watch your mouth.
You got this? No, Ruby Rose talking smack like, oh, she's not
yeah,
lesbian.
Ruby Rose
that
was
was
on
her.
Sydney Sweeney during the Gene campaign. That fucking
She's
bitch.
not.
How are you gonna pick out a gift from the heaven?
well, hold on.
Also, the ladies for the support stuff.
Oh, the boxing of Chrissy, which I watched on the plane, it was very well done.
Well, I will say this. Hold on.
They tie her down in that movie. Those puppies still came out. There's nothing you do. There's nothing you do. There's nothing you do.
You should have a movie review show.
Brendan wants them to win the special effects award.
Yeah. Oh, come on, dude. Avatar, give me a break. No, but they, Ruby Rose is beautiful. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't want to say, yeah. He was saying, don't, he's making fun of her.
She wanted to play that part.
What part? The boxing one?
Yeah. She wanted to play that part.
Bring up Ruby Rose currently for me, because I
don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen her in a long time.
She shaved her head and hates people. I don't know, dude. It makes her less sexy.
Well, that's
out here, Sydney Sweeney working on fucking vintage Broncos with her tits out. I mean, come on.
No. Oh, okay, of course, bro.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
She's pretty, come on. Look at her face. I mean, I get it. She's kind of masculine, but
Nick was a girl.
No. Nick doesn't look that good.
She looks like a teenager. Get the fuck out. Next to Sydney Sweeney, but you guys out here fucking...
Brandon, I'm not... Yeah, this is... Sometimes you take something out of we're not saying, and you make an argument about that. What I'm saying is she's getting beautiful face.
I'm having an argument with myself right now.
Yes!
I'm saying out loud.
Yeah.
I'm saying out loud, I'm crazy.
I don't know what this is about.
She is right.
Yeah, so she's saying, I don't know. She's put out a lot of posts about it too. This stuff about.
This is how she held her shit together and grew her hair out.
Yeah, I know, but also, she this is how people stay relevant.
Like Brendan still comes to our house every 6 months to check her hair.
Yeah.
We're not cooking.
Let's stay inside the house.
It's
I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what I don't know what's gonna come of it. I don't know. Just
I'll tell you what comes of it.
Weird.
Nothing. And she's not gonna get booked in many roles with that attitude and that haircut.
I think that's what's already out.
Oh, is that about right?
That's about right.
That is right.
Oh, wow.
I thought it looked like it.
That fucking fucked me up. So I was like,
wait, I gotta send me that. I gotta send that to Matt.
wow, so I should get more tattoos. Oh, that's weird. Feel it.
Why am I rock hard?
Now he's into it.
Yeah, never look at Matt the same after that, huh?
Honestly, Ruby Rose, she's really come on. She's really fixed. No, yeah.
But it's just what makes her her the fucking haircut.
Obviously.
She's Bruno Mars tattoo on her up.
Plus,
Bruno Mars, I don't need that, but it looks like.
Yeah, Bruno Mars was like, this $50 million for the casino. Yeah. So he was on stage with somebody, and the guy was like pretending to be him, and he was talking about his debt. So Bruno comes in, it's like, I paid off my debts already. That's funny. Yeah. Funny stuff. Funny stuff.
Just do one show and pay the debt.
Really. That guy's really an awesome performer.
He's so.
He really is. It's crazy. You
Alan.
wouldn't even know. You wouldn't like into like Bruno Mars.
all I know is Bruno Mars is about 3'6". Oh yeah, he's talented. Yeah, I guess so. It's weird. Like we're all very tall. You know, even Nick.
Yeah.
Bro, Jin's fucking gigantic Asian Oscar. You know, less than 2% of the population is over 6'2".
And we just sort of just take it for granted too.
And it might, yeah, to me, it's just, I'm just living, baby.
Yeah, just living.
I'm just living.
There's
I'm
people walking around, just top shelf living.
Just living. When I walk down the street, congrats. It's very rare.
We went to a restaurant yesterday, and so Rachel I. Wolf, you know, he's 2, and he's like, he's getting huge, you know. So the lady, I go, well, he's only 2. Because she said he's gonna be tall. I said, she thought he was like 4 or something. Yeah, I'm loud in the restaurant. Shit! Oh my god. In the restaurant. Let's get to it.
Go to Schaumburg, Illinois, Chicago, Chrisley.com, Westminster, BC, Nashville, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City. Let's go, Chrisley.com, Miami, Denver, Pittsburgh.
And then click on over to Griffin.com. It's going to be at the Ontario Improv this Friday, or Saturday, one of those days. Saturday night, Ontario Improv, 2 shows. North Iowa Comedy Festival, and then the Raleigh Improv. 8th and 9th.
Are you the headliner at the North Iowa Comedy Festival?
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah. I'm a poster.
I'm headlining the Portugal. Liz, whatever.
It's all right. Also, check out tonight. It's called No Leg Days. No Leg Days. It's on YouTube. The YouTube is No Leg Days. My boy Nick. Both the Nicks made it. You had huge guests on there. It's like a fun fitness workout show. They go to Venice, Gold's Gym. They're all over. So go check them out. No Leg Days.
And then check out my specials on YouTube and Brendan's show on YouTube.
That's right, kids. Love you.
Worst podcast ever. Like, I'm sure it's hilarious. It's so white.
Hi, everybody. Here we are. Holy moly, how exciting. We have a Podfest right now.
This is fucking ridiculous.
We're in the penthouse at a fancy hotel. Holy moly. This is if I've ever heard of it before. Thanks to everybody watching and do emotion. I would say make some noise, but we wouldn't hear you guys. Sure, in bedrooms right now.
For my dog, I got the this is a dog-friendly hotel, so you can pay this $75 so your dog can fuck the shit up in your room, and you don't have to pay any extra. So they don't want some piss and shit in my room.
I know I already did. The dog, when we were in there, the dog actually came out and had a little something in its mouth. We thought it was poop for a moment, but what was it? It was a little chocolate. His tiny dog found a tiny chocolate and was walking around with it in its mouth. So thank you, Sheraton Delphine.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for allowing my dog to find poisonous chocolate underneath the fucking dresser.
That's right, the Sheraton Hotel, where we killed the cutest baby we've seen.
You'll hate people and they want nothing that they should die. You want that nothing that they should die. They cause you so much time, they should die. I'm really worried about this. It's really like white, setting. My decade. What do you think? Why would you down? And then he dies. You shouldn't be sitting at time. You need to be sitting posted. I thought we sitting for this. Maria had such an incredible view and such an incredible insight.
I was going to do that thing. Oh, here it is. This bit.
How do you supposed to be in ignorance that sinners should cease to exist in the world? No, what does he say? Probably because sin ceased to exist from the world. Not sinners, but sin. Go, shut what he said to the cross. Furthermore, she said to her, there would be no consequence. When you shut in on Ava, give you leaving that. Ava, when you shut in on Ava. Once you remove the sin, there are no more sins. What Maria was telling her husband, that was going to come and bite up to you, rather than inspiration, David was David brought up probably had compassion on them. Yeah, they were almost wicked. Sure enough, Buddy Rock on the Iguya they were married not half of the East who shut it. They did Chuba and they became second. Or at least I don't think they did. But they did Chuba. So the story starts with two primary reasons. Number one, what Korea was saying to the mayor is essentially there aren't bad people, there are just good Jews and bad things. And a person's like has to be able to look at you and be able to differentiate and say something that you want to manage that from the characterize if you do something bad, that's doing a bad person. And what Korea was trying to highlight was this incredible soul. That's not necessarily the case. Other bad people but very often we are people who do bad things. And if you're just able to stop the bad things, the bad things, the inner good ultimately comes out. When Korea or husband, these guys deny, application of Chuba, Chuba, let sin from the world, and there was no sin, no shocking. There was no shock. The person, the Gabra, is good. Just sometimes the Gabra corrupts himself with the Gabra individual is stubborn to cover their own. What Korea said up there was essentially this concept is the cornerstone of sugar. Like without this bad, if I'm bad, so is there really some significance for my salvation or personal restoration? This entire so I'm a good person who does bad things. I may do bad things very deeply. That's quite possible. I may even be more bad things than good things. But at the end of the day, if the
Hey, this is Rick coming to you live from the Comedy Store for a brand new episode of Tell Tony Volume 2. Give it up for Tony Hinchcliffe.
Fuck yeah, everybody. How you guys doing? Hello. Hi, everyone. Good to be here. Happy Monday to you. Episode 36 of Tony. Here with good friend Brian. How you guys doing tonight, everybody? Always fun. Down? What are you saying?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. This sound system here changes every single week. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's they probably do about probably about 20 or 25 different shows out of this room a week. So I can't imagine how many crazy hands get on all the dials and everything and different things.
Yeah, that's 20 different people that does not
right. They have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, totally, they always just immediately that big box back there to try to sell whatever show it is. It's in the place that's been, so imagine that. I mean, that's every week, 20 different hands, times 52 weeks, times 40 fucking years this room has been.
Yeah, they keep on blowing speakers and replacing them with like 80s boom boxes or whatever these are. I think these are iHomes, old iHomes that they're using.
Yeah, though, we're getting it all figured out. The master disaster with that shit.
Chords are changing.
Wow, hello. Okay. Yeah, it's been a crazy week since the last episode. Last episode, I'm pretty sure, was definitely undisputedly our most buzzworthy episode.
People are saying that's the best episode we had, and we were very nervous for last episode being the first in volume 2.
We hit number 1 on Stitcher in some category at some point.
Oh,
that's a first every. Oh, no applause on that. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. I mean, number 1's not that big of a deal, but I mean, you know, there's other numbers. So who cares, right? Who cares about being number 1? Why would you work towards that goal? But I mean, it just the fucking tweets, the everything, and the outreach and support of the show has been unbelievably awesome.
It's great. Like I think I only heard a few negative comments. And the negative comments were all like, "Hey, us people that like to fuck dogs are very disappointed, and that's why."
Right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, it's amazing because you know the podcast world is one thing, but there's also this crazy Hollywood land that I like to delve into in the day with like auditions. You know, there's just everything. It's show business that we're in, and there's an amazing amount of buzz there too, which really surprises me for a raw renegade type of podcast that takes place in the belly room of the store. Like, it's so funny to hear people talking about listening to the episodes and this and that, like pretty high up people. So we're rattling the cages, so it's very exciting. And to think that we did it after getting stabbed in the back, if that's what it took.
Yeah.
The betrayal is what it took to push us to number 1. So, you know, it's just, I mean, to push us to the best that we've ever been. So that's an exciting thing. And, you know, last week was fun. We tested out the Iron Josh.
Yeah, Iron Josh.
And maybe we'll give him another chance. But in the meanwhile, I think we should keep testing out different types.
That's right.
Is special. This Iron dude is pretty well known in the Death Squad community.
Very well known. There's many episodes of Death Squad, especially House Chronicles. Been a friend Joe for a long time. It's been there since the beginning.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, our head of security tonight. Put your hands together for Iron PD. Wow, look at this.
Upgraded.
Wow. Stronger than ever.
This is great. As we can tell, there's been some upgrades. No longer does he have the iron penis snake. He has a advanced wireless mic system coming out of his crotch. Yep, you can tell.
Yeah, that's a hot mic.
It is a hot mic.
Heck yeah, some IKEA lights on your palms. That's pretty cool.
That's right, too.
What was that? Oh, I gotcha. That's true. Oh yeah. You gotta stay in one spot, Patriot. Or I mean, Patriot.
Is it the Patriot or the Iron PDC?
What do you think?
Well, I particularly like the Patriot.
Patriot it is. Patriot. His name's Pete. Took a patent of the Pete. It's the Patriot. So fuck yeah. So what's been going on, Patriot? What's going on? What's your world like?
Tucked me on the boulevard today.
Yeah.
Got into a fight with one of the Superman guys. Trying to get my tickets and get dollars from kids. Bullshit.
Exactly. Now you had a band too, right? What's that called?
I did called Filthy Lobster.
Filthy Lobster.
Yeah. It's called Share My Papaya.
Share your papaya.
Yeah, Share My Papaya.
Wow.
Iron Patriot.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice city, but
Yeah, it's slowly getting there.
it's like at the Iron Patriot. This is what the Iron Patriot looked like on Halloween when he was 6 years old.
Or it looks like the Iron Slumber Party.
Yeah,
He's in his little jammies.
a little sleepover. When all else fails, just make those noises. Hell yeah, you've done your research. That's great. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Pete. What do you say we get this thing started, huh? Yeah. Oh, yes. Wait a second. What is it? What is it, Pete?
I've used the restroom.
Oh, well, absolutely. But in the meanwhile, to stand in for you while you use the restroom, we are going to bring out the Iron Patriot, everybody. Our first ever homosexual head of security. Wow. It's Iron Justin Martindale, a.k.a. the Iron Patriot.
Okay.
How you doing today, buddy? Wow, this is amazing.
I've nothing better to do on a Monday, so,
Right, exactly. Exactly. I'm glad that you were able to be our backup head of security today. A lot of people were into call this is podcasting kryptonite.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm sure he's used to touching tips. Also, it's not a really hard thing.
You got it right there. Just last time you had this trouble with a mic, it was a guy actually named Mike.
Yeah, I don't know what. He just turning it on and off.
It should just stay on.
He's doing some sound effects for us.
I gotta hold on to this Jeff.
What was that? A number? Okay. So Patriot, what's going on? Anything going on?
I fell out of a hot tub this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, it was exciting. Yeah, and then people, I was in a group of people in the hot tub. One chick, and then fell out of the hot tub, trying to get a drink, and they were like, oh, we forgot to tell you the floors were really horrible. And yeah, so I got to eat shit out of a bunch of people.
Now, Tony, the Iron Patriot brought us a song this week.
What?
I heard you music, so...
Wow, it's been a couple weeks since we've had a song from our head of security. I'm pretty excited about this. Ladies and gentlemen, here you go. The Iron Patriot, everyone. Whoa, what's this going to be? It sounds scary.
Goodbye, and I chose. And I stole. Now I try to hide it. It's free. My world is
Guys, give it up to the Iron Patriot!
Wow, heck yeah. That was awesome. Heck yeah, there he goes, the Iron Patriot. That was amazing.
Justin Martindale, everybody.
Heck yeah. Unbelievable performance. Thank you so much. Everything coming to you?
Yeah, we're just fine.
Fantastic.
I don't know if you guys know this, a little bit of factoid for you, but this is the first episode of Kill Tony that's ever taken place during Black History Month. So, I got a lot of tweets from my female Edwards about that today.
Oh, wow. Real quick before Comedy store on the road. First on March 1st. So San Diego, if you're listening, it'll be March 1st. Tickets will be available online. So it's gonna be March 1st at the La Jolla Comedy Store, the first day on the road. So very excited. Also, that's it. This is Tom Segura's t-shirt, Segura.com.
Yep. Segura.com.
Special birthday.
Yeah.
Water boxers in the house. My favorite person. Very good. Yeah, that's exactly. All right, so let's get it started. You guys, 6. Just as all super duper special, in no particular order, to go like this. True, one of the people that ever take me. One of the funniest people here. Steve Mino. Everybody. Also, from the big old battle, Steve, best comedian in the fucking world. Oh my God, everybody. Steve Mino.